My childhood friends excluded my wife for years, and I finally cut them off.
You mess with my wife, you're out.
To start, I, 30 male, met my wife, 33 female, online via video games. Oh my God, where's Keon? In 2017, and we were in a long-distance relationship. We will call her Mel.
Aww.
At that time, I was just getting into Dungeons and Dragons and tabletop gaming.
Yeah.
Freaking nerd.
Yeah.
By the way, this comes from just wanting smiles. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Riley.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. NOP says, I have a group of friends that I play board games with every weekend. I've known them since I was a child and grew up with them. By all accounts, they are my best friends. This situation mostly boils down to two of the friends I will call Abbott and Costello. They are brothers. Background info. Abbott is a year younger than me and has always been a bit of a character and argumentative. Our game nights were hosted at his house as he was the first to buy a house growing up for us to hang out in. After meeting my wife, she was invited to our weekend game nights and would join remotely via Discord to play with us. This was exciting as it allowed us to spend time together with friends while she was distant. I was running a multi-year D&D campaign, which she was a major part of creating and playing.
Whoa.
Abbott almost immediately grew frustrated with the scenario, claiming that playing with her remotely was a nuisance. Nobody else agreed, but Mel felt pressured to step down.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, like playing remotely.
Yeah.
Is she the only one playing remotely? Or
I think so, yeah.
it's not
in
that
a
hard.
world where everything's digitalized, I feel like all the players should not be.
I will say it's more fun when you have everyone in person and it's
She
a little bit
can't,
easier. But
though.
she
See,
can't.
you're the
Yeah.
problem here. This is a part of the
No,
problem. You're part of it.
Whoa. I was gonna say it's not that hard to do it with someone who's online. I've done that before.
See how she
Keon's
backpedaled?
friends live
Yeah.
nearby and they still play online.
Yeah. Well, I was saying, I think what there's, unless I'm mistaken.
She is the only one that
Yes.
is remote for this one, but Keon and his friends, although they live in LA, all play online.
I've played online before, and that one is, I think, a lot easier than playing with one person who's virtual. But it's still possible, and
Yeah.
it's not like a big issue.
That's why they completely play online, because one
Yeah,
person. is
I
not
think it's
in the
easier
state.
to completely play online.
A year or so later, Mel flew up for a family wedding and was able to join us in real life for the first time.
Yo!
It
One
was
shot.
It was incredibly exciting, but not for long. When she came to the hangout, Abbott was somewhat rude and dismissive of her. That weekend at the wedding, Abbott came to Mel while I was giving speeches and told her that, you know, the campaign has been so much better since you stopped playing. I know that they're men, but that's the voice that
Yeah,
they're getting.
that's exactly how they sound.
This, he said, without anyone else in our group knowing. This caused a lot of distress for Mel, as she was in a different country, surrounded by people she barely knows, and was really hoping to meet friends.
That's so messed up. Like,
So
why
messed
even
up.
say that? Even if it is true, even if that's how you feel, why are you telling this girl?
I know
Weird thing to
why.
say.
Two things. One, he probably has a crush on her and doesn't know what to do. Or two,
He never learned how to talk to women.
Yeah.
okay, that's true. Or three, he wants OP all for himself,
Yeah.
and this woman, Mel, this evil person's gonna take him away to
He's
that
like,
country she
We
lives
used
in.
to have voice time, and now there's a girl.
Dude, dudes do that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure. This crushed her, causing a lot of sadness and stress for the both of us. The other friends, unfortunately, remained silent or, at worst, backed Abbott, including Costello.
Bruh.
But they're brothers, so I would expect that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Following this, when we would play video games on Discord, she would often be mysteriously excluded, or Abbott's vibe would just shift when she would join us. Of course, this led Mel and I to rarely, if ever, play with Abbott online. After months of this, I was deeply dedicated to this D&D game we played, as it was a 5+ year story
Yeah.
with a lot of emotional investment for all involved. Mel encouraged me to keep DMing the campaign because they had been my friends for so many years and it meant a lot to me. Abbott...
Wait, you're the DM?
Yeah.
My God, tell him to shut up.
Abbott was always a troublesome player, bending the rules, complaining, arguing.
Sorry, make him pass away. You're the DM.
So my friend group mostly just tried to play around it and enjoy ourselves. This is where it gets worse.
Oh no.
Shortly after, I had a fire in my apartment and essentially lost everything.
No.
I was
sorry.
I was forced to live in a camper van for 6 months through the
Wow.
winter while I rebuilt. Mel flew up immediately to be with me as I was injured in the fire.
Whoa.
Once things settled a bit, Mel joined me in the weekend D&D games and mostly sat with me and helped me run the game. Entirely non-intrusive.
Yeah.
She explained privately to me that since the campaign was nearly at an end, she did not want to slow down the session by participating. But I wanted her there with me because we rarely got to see each other in person like this. After a couple weeks, Abbott sends me a message that he no longer wants Mel to come to the game nights, that he only wants men there.
There it is.
Yeah, that's not. Honestly, I would I would be genuinely considering whether or not I wanted to continue the game with people like this. Because
Yeah, I'd be like, dude, we're 30.
D&D has a huge culture of misogyny, especially for like long-time male players.
Huge.
You know, we've
Yeah.
read stories where women come in and are
Immediately, characters, bye-bye.
yeah. Characters are like put in just bad situations. Just various different ways in which they are, which are all not okay. So there is a huge culture of that, and I think OP, as the DM, it is your responsibility to say that that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I argued immediately, saying that's absurd. He cannot just exclude someone based on their gender. He got angry with me and claimed everyone else agrees. I then messaged all the other friends, and they all claimed to have no idea about Abbott doing this, other than Costello, who was really vague.
He's like, maybe, I don't know.
And Abbott's there like, you say yes right now.
Yeah. He calls him up. He's on FaceTime, and he's like, I never, well, he's, okay, I didn't hear that. Or I did hear that, yes.
Yes. This completely blindsided us, and justifiably. Mel was furious with Abbott. She called him sexist and immature, and was devastated to be treated so badly.
Yeah.
I was heartbroken that a friend would treat Mel like this. Keep in mind, Abbott is married to a woman he also excluded from our campaign, which Mel also called him out for.
Yeah, he's been.
Abbott then went to everyone individually and complained about how Mel called him sexist and mean, claiming he was the victim and she was pestering him.
She called me
Because
I said that I hate women. I don't want them in our D&D.
And she called me
It was
that.
fine.
Can you believe her? So at this point, I was desperately trying to figure out the next steps while recovering and rebuilding my home. I took a break from it all to rebuild my life as it literally burned down. Months later, I hesitantly returned to game nights, but spoke privately with Abbott about how wrong he was and that he should apologize. He agreed to apologize, so we tried to move past it and continue. At this point, Mel had already returned home as she could not stay for long. It came out shortly after that his apology was less than ideal. He essentially said, I'm sorry you felt bad about this. I just don't want you there because weekends are for da boys.
I don't like this man.
And that is literally da boys with a Z.
Because weekends are for the boys. I don't like you.
Unbelievably rude and dismissive of the toxic sexism. So again, Mel lost it on him. This was not a matter of weekend activities being a guy's night when she had been part of it from the beginning. Yeah, that too. At this point, I had considered stopping running the campaign altogether. But Mel insisted that while Abbott was a crappy person, this campaign had been going on for nearly 5 years. She did not want me to ruin the story for the rest of my friends, all because only one of them was vindictive. I could tell she was feeling down on herself, but I continued to play for the friends in the group who I was still very close with. If it wasn't obvious already, Mel and I suffer from a lack of self-worth and are chronic people pleasers.
CPP.
No.
CPP.
I got the CPP.
No.
From there, my contact with him was minimal, all while Abbott and Costello gossiped to literally everyone about myself and Mel.
Literally kick them out of the D&D group. Come out. Unalive their characters.
Ready for this one?
Yeah.
Calling us,
Oh, wow.
yes, really, and mean while being nice to my face. I knew nothing of this hidden dissent.
Yeah, the descent amongst the ranks.
Nearly a year later, and after that campaign had met its end, Mel and I were finally able to get married and move her across countries to live with me, and we had started on her immigration process. We have been incredibly happy together. Coincidentally, in these months, I was hardly invited to any more nights out other than D&D, which I rarely attended due to being so busy with life. Abbott took my absence poorly, and unknown to me, spread all sorts of rumors about how I was avoiding them, talking crap about them, pestering him, etc. Literally none of this is true. I had told my friends in a thread that my life had been upheaved by the fire. My wife was moving, and a new job, as well as declining health concerns. Of course, Abbott secretly used these against me/us. Here is where it finally escalated.
What? What was
It
all
gets
this?
worse. It gets worse.
Gets worse.
This was just a lead up.
At the beginning of this year, Costello got engaged and sent out his RSVPs. Mine was only for myself, no +1.
Yeah, immediately rejecting that invite. No, thank you.
That's wild. Of course, this was suspicious as heck, so I called Costello and asked why Mel wasn't invited. He said, "Oh, sorry, it's a really small venue and our seats were limited. Nobody's partners were invited unless they're in the wedding party." Honestly, totally fair. I understand that. I get that for girlfriends.
Liar.
I get that
Yeah.
for any unmarried folk. Mel is his
Wife?
wife.
Wife? I also think he's lying.
I think he's lying too.
Yeah, I'm not going. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Mel believed there was more to it than that. She was, after all, my spouse before the wedding invitation was sent out. She was my wife, no longer just my +1. I chose to give Costello the benefit of the doubt. He had been my friend for more than 20 years. Despite all the hurt, I still wanted to see the best in people. Anyway, the week of the wedding comes up, and another friend from the group, who we'll call Giovanni, asked if Mel was coming to the wedding. This gave me immediate pause, and I told him that she wasn't invited. Giovanni went silent and was confused. His partner was invited months ago, neither of whom were in the wedding party. Incredibly upset, I called other friends, each who confirmed their partners were invited. And the wedding was not a small venue, but substantially large, with hundreds in attendance. I immediately called Costello to talk about this. I asked him why he lied. How dare he exclude Mel like this? Rather than admitting he lied and was treating Mel like trash, he doubled down on me, saying that he didn't want her there because of all the problems she's caused, and because she hurt Abbott's feelings by calling him sexist and mean. I could not believe this. He lied to me right to my face about the venue and the invites. Furious, I politely told him how entirely unacceptable his and Abbott's behavior has been, that they've been lying, gossiping, and terribly and exclusionary behind our backs, trying to turn friends against Mel and I. I wept for a long time about this, as these were my friends for not years, but decades. People who I shared my entire life with, from childhood into adulthood. How they could so easily discard us like this truly broke me when I thought they would support us.
Oh.
And what hurts just as much is seeing how isolated my wife feels. She had moved to this country with the hope that she could have made friends with the rest of the group, only to be excluded and ignored because of the rumor mongering. She hardly leaves the house and has almost no one here that she talks to.
Dang.
This insult was the final nail in the coffin for us. I informed Costello that if he would so easily disrespect my wife like this, that I would not attend the wedding. My wife and I are a team, I said. If you cannot respect her enough to even consider her a person, then you do not respect me. If she is not welcome, then neither am I. And I declined going to the wedding. Following this, both Abbott and Costello absolutely lost it on me. He called me mean, disingenuous, a liar, etc. He said that Mel needed to apologize to him for the things she said.
I don't think she said anything.
She said that he was mean and
Yeah, that's what he's mad about.
yeah,
The truth.
and the truth. Maybe you shouldn't have been mean.
I told him he is absolutely out of his mind and that I pray he has the self-reflection to realize how wrong he is. But I hope you guys realize how many more episodes there are that you guys can go listen to right now. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. There's a lot of them.
This is
wow.
ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, at that point, it's just like cut off these friends.
Yeah,
Truly.
we should have cut him off sooner.
Yeah,
They're crazy.
they're crazy. They're crazy.
He doubled down, and Costello doubled down and demanded an apology for our actions. Truly unbelievable. And then the two formed a private group with all the friends but me and are doing everything they can to make us the villains. It's been a month since this, and none of them have responded to any of my contact attempts. Not one. My biggest regret is not drawing the line sooner. Did I overreact? Did I do something wrong here?
No, you already know him. You didn't
Yeah.
draw the line soon.
Yeah, you
You know.
know.
That was the issue.
Wow. That's rough, though.
Yeah, really sucks.
I accidentally ruined my friendship with my boss, who I deeply admire.
Ooh, what'd you do?
I, 27 male, am close friends with my boss, 41 male, and we're both guys.
Just like us. We're just a bunch of silly guys.
He's about 20 years older than me.
Stop that.
But we speak very candidly and openly about other employees and unfair policies.
Just like Riley and myself.
By the way, this comes from Throwaway All Day Today on 111. And if you want to spin your own stories, where you go, Keon?
Go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit.
I'm Riley,
I'm Keon.
and we're here to give good advice goofily. But we don't have what, Keon?
Kind of nervous now.
All the answers.
I have some of the answers.
And if they have anything they'd like to share, what do they got to do?
Leave a comment below or come over here and tell us yourselves.
As OP says, we play cards about every day at lunch. We talk about relationships and personal stuff. We even got tattoos together. I almost got a tattoo with John.
I have a tattoo with Dakota.
Well, we almost got the OK symbol.
Where would you get it?
You know where.
Where?
They didn't. I would only have to put the K. 'cause
Where?
The O was already there.
Where? Right?
They didn't match, but he told me he'd always wanted a tattoo. So I went with him and got one myself. I think they're about to fall in love. I've been working for him for 3 years and gave my notice yesterday. I did get another job, and I let him know that's why I was leaving. They were offering me significantly higher pay. The boss is out all week, so unfortunately, I had to do this over the phone. Ooh, and you guys have been that tight since then? Ugh.
Throw me a bone, boss guy.
I wasn't nervous, however, because on Friday he was telling me how hard the job had come and how he wanted to quit too because he'd been offered another position at a different company as well. He asked if he should take it, and I told him to do what makes him happy. On the phone, he was fine. He even congratulated me.
He starts doing you.
Do
what makes you happy. All right.
Bro, are you getting that too?
What?
Little romance?
No.
Really? They got tattoos together, dude.
Does that mean Dakota and I? Oh, yeah.
See? Exhibit A.
I have matching tattoos with people.
Name another one.
His name's Dylan.
Didn't you and Dylan have a thing?
No.
On the phone, he was fine. He even congratulated me. But then the text started coming in. He basically said the timing was interesting. So Friday is going to be my last day. He said I had been coming in late and leaving early, which isn't true. I even found my in and out times to prove it. He added that my willingness to give such short notice tells him where I am. I didn't give him tons of notice, only 10 days. But I said I would be able to help out remotely for as long as they needed me and could come in whenever they needed me up until the start date of my new job. OP sounds pretty flexible.
Oh, yeah?
Edit. That's 8 working days and 2 weekend days. I suck, I know. My boss told me they were fine and that the office didn't need me. No lunch, no send-off for my years of work, nothing. He's never been this rude, short, or cruel with me. I've never received a bad performance review or even a comment about my commuter hours. I understand I probably could have quit better, but we were friends on Friday, and I love the guy.
How much do you love him?
Okay, if you guys are saying it's a bromance, say it now.
It's a bromance.
I wanna see some bromance vibes here.
Kiss.
He is someone I could see as a lifelong mentor and friend. For him to dismiss me like this, he must have been livid. I feel like such a knucklehead. I know I hurt his feelings, but it wasn't personal. It's business.
Okay, all right.
I
Yeah.
don't know for him.
To him, it was personal. It wasn't business.
How can I begin to repair this? And we have a top comment here. I assume 10 days means 10 working days, aka 2 weeks. Oh no, it's a total of 10 days. 2 days are a weekend. It's short notice, a combo of a 3-day weekend, not being able to get in touch with him while he took the week off. Opie replied to a deleted comment. It was my fault and I should have done better. I had friends coming into town and the full 2 weeks caused me to miss most of their trip. They were only here to come see me because I told them I got unlimited paid time off, which I did, but I hadn't gotten this job offer yet. So I figured since I'm closing on a big project in 10 days, which happened to be the day before they were in town, that wouldn't be too big of a deal to save off those 4 days. So he basically put in these 2 days notice so he could spend like an extra couple of days with his buds.
OP did this like very strategically, and like from taking your time off with like, oh, I have all these sick days, or I can take these days off. Your strategy was sound, and you can't be upset about it. But the way you didn't tell your boss friend, which you've known for a very long time, which I can see his point of view. Like, dude, that was like, I get it. That was sleazy, but I'm also like your friend, and you didn't tell me. From like both perspectives of like, I'm your friend, but also your boss. Both perspectives, not cool, bro.
Yeah, it's weird. This is kind of weird. I don't like it personally.
You could have handled it a lot better. I feel like you just like, I got the job. It was easy. I put 10 days. That's all they need. They don't need more than that. That's great. Good luck.
This is weird. Fine hams abound comments. You think maybe your friend is mad not because he's your boss and gave short notice, but because you recently had a conversation about his career path and did not use the opportunity to be candid with him about your own current decision? I'd be pretty pissed if I thought I was good friends with someone and they blindsided me with 10 days notice about a decision they absolutely had more time to contemplate. Opie says, this man is my boss. Even if we were best homies in the world, he was my boss. I could not tell my boss of my decision to leave until I had secured a job offer from my new place.
What? I feel like that's a major excuse. I've been friends with my bosses before, and maybe the relationship's different, but the fact that you were like talking about policies in the workplace sucking or be like, I feel like, come on, OP, if you were in his shoes, I feel like if you guys are really that cool, he would have been like, dude, I'm happy for you. Take the job.
Yeah.
Like, especially when you brought it up and you kind of like, oh, if you got that new job, would you take it kind of thing? I don't know, OP. You're kind of being sleazy about it.
Very sleazy. And
he's my boss. I'm not going to tell my boss friend, even though he's like a friend and like we're tight. I'm not going to tell him about that.
Yeah. I know you had a significant pay raise. Could you have negotiated?
Anything. I feel like anything should have been brought up, especially if you say you and your boss were close.
Yeah.
Sean says, never say anything to your boss unless the other job is ready. I understand OP.
I mean, I get it. I think you should have gave more time, more notice.
I feel like it depends on your relationship, but if it is all like professional, even then.
Yeah, if it's professional, it shouldn't be this big of a deal. I know, it's weird. Oh, I don't disagree, but was just offering another possible reason for his odd reaction. I would actually argue that this is exactly why people can't truly buddy up to a boss. There is still a power imbalance. Sometimes short notice is all we can give, but you seem to have offered a temporary solution to ease the transition. While still frustrating and an inconvenience, he seems to be taking this news extremely personally. That makes me think he really doesn't understand the boundaries of what your work friendship should have been. Opie says, I'm in the office today, and he won't even look at me. Professionally speak out loud leaves every room I enter. I feel like I'm in the twilight zone, and I even looked up the past 2 months of my parking history to make sure I wasn't secretly slacking off, and I've never left early on the same day I came in late. I purposely come in early or leave late so it all averages out. I really don't know what's going on. And Grub34 says, congrats on the new position. 10 days is plenty of time when giving notice. You didn't do anything wrong. I would assume your boss is a little blindsided and hurt. When he's in the office next, it would probably go a long way to talk to him face to face and let him know exactly what you said here. It's a good opportunity, and don't be silly not to take it. Tell him how you appreciated his guidance and leadership through the years and really wanted to maintain the friendship. He might just have hurt feelings. His reaction isn't okay, but having a conversation about it might clear the air. And OP says, just a quick update for you guys. My boss is actively avoiding me. So the last meeting we will have is the morning of my last day. Okay. Update 2 days later. I don't know. Is this too much?
I mean, 10 days is more than enough. Is it a blindside? Yes. Your boss friend being petty and like weird about it? Also, yes.
41.
The fact that he's avoiding you and can't have a full-on conversation with you because of the giant elephant in the room, and he's upset at you, makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I guess there's a lot of emotions going on there. I would just go in his office and be like, hey, listen, because of you, I got this job. I want to talk to you man to man. But I am your friend, and I guarantee he's gonna be like, my friend wouldn't blindside me like this. I'm like, you know what? I had to do this. It was very short notice. I didn't have a choice. Like they gave me better pay, better everything, and I know you guys couldn't counter that. I'm sorry. It is business.
Yeah.
Don't take it personally. You are still my friend, but it was a better opportunity for me, and I can't just stick here forever.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, especially when you get paid more somewhere else.
Yeah, it's a new opportunity, new chapter. As your friend, he should be stoked for you.
Yeah.
As your boss, yeah, it kind of sucks, but he should also be stoked for you.
Yeah, exactly. Update 2 days later. I got some responses, so I figured I'd share what happened this week because it's just the craziest start of the story. I'd give the start of this like a 4 out of 10.
What do you mean?
As out of craziness.
Oh yeah.
Maybe 3.
I will give this something like a 3. That one about the cabana, 1.
Yeah,
Negative.
the one with Cabana.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like this one, I don't know, 2 out of 10. I wasn't sure. There was no affair. It was just like, oh,
I give it a
slided.
3. I mean,
I slided my boss.
this is a bromance.
Yeah, if they don't get together or there's not some kind of love happening, it's a
Fair.
2 to
Red
me.
Bull says, here's the thing though. He's calling him his friend through the whole thing, but then at the end, when he was his boss, I think it's kind of. She says she thinks it's kind of rude. Like,
Yeah.
especially when you brought up that conversation topic. Come on.
Yeah, Shirley Sunshine says, you got tattoos together. You should have talked to him sooner. He was more than your boss and would have supported you.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, that's a good point. He would have definitely supported you.
That's what I'm saying. He would have supported you like through thick and thin.
Yeah, like, I think he's hurt because you didn't come to him sooner.
Or ask for his advice or like anything. You just
Kind of did your own thing.
You just did your own thing, which again is fair and you're allowed to. But I don't think you don't necessarily owe him like all your life details. But this was a pretty big decision of one, leaving the company or leaving your job and leaving your friend.
So, the day after my boss chewed me out over text, he avoided me in the office, refused to speak to me, and left every room I walked into. We had a brief work-only related conversation about taking over my project. Then he left for the day. So I waited because he left something when he rushed out that I knew he had to get back. Finally, I returned and he awkwardly asked how I'm doing. And I said not great because he's really mad at me. And then it begins. He tells me he isn't mad at me, but he feels like he's been taken advantage of. Launches into this entire story about giving me so many opportunities, how he used to be great and a great member of the office. But ever since October, when we received significant evidence of employment safety concerns, employees neither of us oversee, I've been checked out. He said everyone noticed I was coming in late. I refuted him that I never left early, so he dropped it. He said our relationship had changed. He said my relationship with my coworkers had changed. He said to be underperforming in this way and to leave was a slap to his face. I wanted to be very clear. This is the first time he's ever told me of this problem. No one, not my boss, not my coworkers, ever told my commuter hours were a problem. I asked for these hours in my interview and was specifically told, we don't care when you're in the office, just that you get the work done. Okay, so then why is this a problem?
Again, it's just your boss friend is being a little petty. Again, he's being hurt. This is coming from his emotions and how dare you do this kind of stuff? And now he's getting all like the semantics and all like the reading in between the lines kind of things and holding it against you, which he shouldn't be. But he's just upsetty spaghetti.
Yeah. I told my boss I had completed several significant projects since October, including a company record-breaking campaign. Were they not good enough? He told me it wasn't about the work quality. It was about how painful it seemed for me to get them done. So I was honest and told him I felt like a chump, and I was mortified by this news. I wasn't trying to be malicious with my hours. I just assumed if they were an issue, then someone would talk to me about it. Instead, it seemed like he'd just gone to my coworkers and complained. Finally, I asked him, if I hadn't gotten this job, were you ever going to tell me you thought I'd lost passion for the work? He said he was just waiting for the good employee button to switch back on, and he didn't want to have a hard conversation. He told me he still loves me as a person and is happy to write me a good recommendation if I ever need one. And then we both went home. Today was still my last day, and everything was immediately back to normal. He and I were still buddy-buddy all day. At my goodbye lunch, he pulls me aside and tells me he's quitting because he's tired of it all, hates the company, and hates working here.
Bro, you were the only reason he liked coming to work.
Yeah, honestly.
And if his only reason to come to work was you for the most part, and you're leaving and you blindsided him, dude's gonna be really hurt.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing here.
And
That's
I'm
weird.
guarantee you he doesn't want to tell you that or show you his vulnerable side. And he's like kind of diluting it to, yeah, you just weren't performing well and like I had to be a boss. I guarantee you on the inside he's like, my buddy couldn't even confide in me and like tell
Yeah.
me he was leaving because I wanted to quit and he was the sole reason that I enjoyed coming to work.
Why couldn't he just be for real about this? What the heck? Tells me he accepted a new effing awesomely paid offer this morning and he's going to be leaving in April. He bought me a gift, and when I left for the final time, he hugged me, gave me a toast, hugged me again, and then in the car he texted me thanking me for all I've done.
Aw.
I am left feeling really weird. I'm not sure I learned a lesson here, or my boss and I are still friends. I feel crappy still though. Like I've been fired? Any idea what should I do? By the way, if you don't know what to do right now and you're stuck because this story's over, go to your favorite podcast platform. Search OK Storytime on iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. We have a little edit here. Go get a beer. I don't know.
You can't hang out with your friend now because now he's no longer your boss.
Yeah,
He's just your friend.
exactly.
You can go hang out with him, and you should celebrate him on his last day. Go into the office. I feel like you won't be penalized for that, and celebrate, and do the same as he did for you.
Yeah.
I did this. My friend was like at my old job, my last job before this. I'm still great friends with my boss, but he was also friend first before my boss,
Yeah.
and we have a great relationship. We had a great relationship. Like if it was like I'm your boss, you have to listen to what I say. I'd be like sassy about it. But I'm like, okay, no, you're serious. Okay, I'll do that. I'll do the
Yeah.
job. And like there were times where like he would like not come down on me, but he'd be like, you gotta do this, or you gotta like, come on, man, like
Yeah, you need that sometimes.
yeah. But yeah, so but I get it. It's a relationship, but you hurt your friend at the end of the day, and I feel like he should have told you that. But all is all. Like you guys are friends. Go hang out. Go get a drink.
That's what I said.
Okay, you don't drink. Go kiss.
No, I don't do that either. What am I supposed to do, Keon?
Go cook something and make sure it's not dry.
I actually made really good potato soup this weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
What was in the soup?
Potatoes, celery, onions,
Carrots?
bacon, cheese. No carrots. I should have put carrots in it, but yeah. Anyways,
No meat?
I said bacon.
Oh, sorry. I skipped that.
Edit. Wow, y'all's amazing responses. I'm going to try and get some distance from the whole situation. I still feel really guilty, even though I know it isn't my fault. Bosses are weird, man. And we got a comment here. Honestly, it's impossible for anyone here to know if there was truth to his feelings. Your update is kind of disjointed, but it seems like he felt you were coasting since October.
Which you were, it seems like. You were
Yeah.
like, I'm not working here anymore. I coasted at the very end of my job. I was like,
Are you coasting right now?
No.
Are you quiet quitting?
What would I be doing?
I don't know. You can't really quiet quit here.
No, exactly. I didn't quiet quit at that job. I was just like, hey guys, I'm gonna go, and everyone was really sad about it. But like at the last weeks, I was like, I just don't care. Like I'm not gonna do anything. What are they
Yeah.
gonna do? Fire me? I'm leaving anyway.
Yeah. I suggest doing some thinking on your work ethics. Is there truth to what he said? I have a friend who has absolutely no ability to hide her emotions. She's checked out and is going through the motions. It's obvious, even though she's producing good work. If he's wrong and projecting, that's one thing, but there's some truth. Maybe meditate on fresh approaches at your new job. Also, this might just be my old-fashioned approach, but I rarely have seen blurring lines with bosses. Becoming good friends to have a great result. Friendly, sure, but keeping it professional is usually way less likely to backfire on you. Opie says, I was definitely coasting when I came to the office culture. The notice of employee safety caused me to do some digging, and there was a bunch of scary, weird practices going on at the company. Dark stuff that made me feel guilty and weird about working there.
What?
What is this?
Where did this come from?
Especially after I brought it to my boss, who echoed my notes of horror and disgust, but whose manager did not act. So I took a step back, just showed up and got my work done and left. No buddy stuff, no long lunches or after hours conversations until 8 p.m. because it felt wrong, That coupled with my boss's obvious disdain for the work and open complaints about the company had me thinking the level of hatred for the company was normal. I figured if my commuter hours / emotional detachment from the office culture was an issue, someone would have said something. Where do you work?
Yeah, this got more questionable where you work.
Completely fine. You worked at Hooters? Wait, Red Bull Run. My mom said bosses is being petty because OP seemed to have that friend-boss friendship vibe, but the boss seemed to butt her about losing his friend. Like he seemed like he thinks he's just friends with OP, not a boss. Yeah, I think that's what happened there.
I guarantee you that's what happened. Like he literally told you like I'm quitting because I don't like working here. He only enjoyed going to work and hanging out with his buddy. Like he's like I'm going to see my buddy today. It's like going to school when you're a kid. You're like, what's the best thing about school? My friends. You're like, yeah. Like, yeah, sure the education's great. You get to learn, but why are you going to school? To hang out with your friends.
Yeah. Another note, he honestly sounds like a terrible boss. I don't mean he's a terrible person, just having this level of emotional entanglement with a much younger subordinate, not being able to distinguish your work relationship and your personal friendship, wanting to avoid hard conversation, and just waiting for you spontaneously to know he wasn't satisfied with your work. He was a terrible manager. Sounds like a lot of the dysfunction and dissatisfaction with your job may have actually stemmed from the fact that your supervisor was just awful at his job, even if you like him as a person. Yeah, I could see that. It's like you've just been coasting since October. He's probably been coasting. Dude's probably been coasting for a while.
Probably.
It sounds like you've gotten really strange, unprofessional cues and behavior modeling from this job. You might want to read some of the archives that Ask a Manager or similar before starting this new job to get a regrounding in what healthy, typical boss relationships look like. Good luck. Another comment says, no. This entire relationship is inappropriate. He was a terrible boss. He should have never told you any of this. If there were issues with your performance, he should have addressed them immediately. He thought you were his little fan club and took it personally when you quit and threw a tantrum. This guy is gross. Another comment says, not gonna lie, I wonder if he was projecting his dissatisfaction onto you. I got that feeling. Either way, try to distance yourself emotionally a bit until you can look at this with fresh eyes. I agree. Yeah, it was a little weird. Inappropriate? I don't know. I think it's fine.
I think you could be friends with your boss, but don't be like telling your boss every nitty little gritty thing in your life because that can come to bite you back in the butt. But I feel like you can be friends with your boss. Because you should be fine. Should there be a level of being professional in it? Yes. But I think you can be friends with your boss personally.
What do you guys think? Do you think this is weird? True story. The first and only time I went to Hooters, someone in our party ordered a chocolate milk, and it was, in fact, gone bad. I'm so sorry,
That's
Dr. Katie.
gross.
Kimberly Fine says, my old bosses were awesome. Owner was bestie with my manager, gave notice and cut him. Became competition, therefore, for liability.
I was going to say, yeah, have you been friends with your boss? Did you have like a more deeper relationship with your bosses or any of your bosses where you work? I worked at a very professional job a couple jobs ago. Was I friends with my boss? No. Was I cordial with them? Sure. Would I go out with my boss to get a drink? No. At my other job, 100%. Like I could be very myself and very not proper and then, tell him how it is and, make fun of him and vice versa. But that was also a different kind of relationship before I started that job. So, thanks. But
I rejected my friend that I used to be in love with.
You're flip-flopping all over the place.
I, 30 male, met my friend Jean, 28 female. Jean, I need you.
Let me in.
I met her 3 years ago at a rec soccer league, and I was pretty infatuated with her from the beginning. Another guy in the league, lawyer dude, 30 male.
Is that the
We're
superhero?
gonna call him LD.
Objection!
Lawyer dude also liked her and was part of the same group of friends that would get together at this league. By the way, this comes from user a bunch of gibberish. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. And we're here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, after over a year, our friendships deepened, and I honestly fell more in love with her, too. I was hesitant about damaging our friendship, but came clean and asked her if she wanted to explore something more. She told me she loved me as a friend, but wasn't into me like that since she didn't want to get in a relationship at the time. Even though my heart was broken, I moved on. Less than 2 months later, she started dating LD. And it became clear to me she wasn't necessarily avoiding relationships, but just didn't want me. I think all my romantic feelings for her ended right at that moment, since I'm the type of person who wants the same excitement and feelings for a partner that I give them. No big deal. I was honestly happy for her. We were still good friends, but I left the league because my professional life picked up after I was promoted to CFO of my company.
Ooh la la.
And I just didn't have the time for it, so I got chief financial officer duties to take care of.
I'm a busy businessman. I don't have time for rec leagues.
We still joked and texted all the time, and Jean and LD even came out with me, my friends, and my sister to party and have some nights out. Jean even became good friends with my sister, which I was happy to see because I like seeing my sister surround herself with great people. A few months ago, Jean and LD broke up, which came as a surprise to everyone because they seemed great together. I've been finding out over the past several weeks from Jean and my sister that LD was harmful almost the entire time they were together.
That's terrible.
I feel terrible for her, and she's been spending more time with us. I think she's well on the path to recovery, though she should probably see a therapist or something to confirm that. Last weekend, we were drinking some wine in my kitchen, goofing around. She was teasing me about the last few girlfriends I'd had, and even doing impressions of some of them. I was pretty tipsy, and my kitchen is tiny, Manhattan apartment, and I'm pretty sure she initiated a kiss. We kissed for maybe 7 to 10 seconds before I put a stop to it and tried to diffuse the situation by joking about how strong the wine was.
Whoa! Oh, what's in this wine? That's crazy.
I guess there's kisses in this wine.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe we just did that. It must be the wine and nothing else.
Yeah, well, whose vineyard did this wine come from? Henry Kissinger's? I don't even. Did he have wine? They're all making wine these days.
What orchard? What vineyard did this come from? Or on Host High School? Cause we're kiss falling in love in.
That's a deep cut. That was a pretty deep cut right there. She agreed. She laughed about it and went home. Early the next morning, she was at my doorstep and wanted to talk. She said she was in love with me and that we could start what we should have started when I confessed to her years ago. I told her that I loved her as a friend, but didn't see her romantically, and that it wouldn't be a good idea. Now, how is she going to handle it when the shoe's on the other foot? Is she going to handle it with grace and dignity like OP did? Or is she going to lose her absolute crap?
Cut off ties with you, OP?
She seemed incredibly hurt and asked if it was because she had rejected me, and I told her it wasn't, though I don't think she believed me. And to be honest, it probably is the reason. As I mentioned earlier, unless someone is as Golden Lab excited about me as I am about them, I lose interest romantically.
I think that's fair. I think it's, you have interest in someone, they reject you, so you move on from them. I think sometimes you can kind of come back around and realize, oh, I actually am into that person. Also, sometimes you just don't.
It's simply the way of the world. I probably have issues. Join the club, buddy.
That's an issue, though.
We all have issues, buddy. Join the club, dude. I probably have issues, but that's how I am. I'm in no way trying to purposely punish her. Now my sister's texting me and giving me a hard time because she sees it as her friend having been manipulated into a relationship when she wasn't ready for it by a self-absorbed person. And she's accusing me of being vengeful and petty with someone who is my soulmate because she got manipulated and chose someone else over me.
I would just say I'm not into her anymore. I'm not allowed to not be into her anymore.
Yeah, guys, would it be crazy if I just said I don't like her like that?
Yeah.
Would it really be that much of a stretch?
So strange.
My sister has also dated some a-holes in the past, so I think she's seeing it from Jean's perspective, which I don't fault her for. I reached out to Jean to see if she was okay, but she said she needed time and that it's possible we should never see each other again.
Dang.
I think that might be a bit of
That's a bit of an over-exaggeration.
Maybe a bit of a drastic response.
I called it, though, didn't I?
Right.
I did say. She's like, I think she could cut you off completely.
It's like, she just didn't have your fortitude, OP.
Guess not.
She didn't have your ability.
Yeah, she's like, that's it. We're done. I know that I rejected you once and we were able to be friends, but now that you've rejected me, no sir.
That kiss must have been like the best kiss she's ever had.
I guess so.
Yeah.
7-second kiss and she's in love.
The Kissinger Vineyard makes a strong brew.
Quite fruity and dry.
Yeah, wine connoisseur over here. OP continues, I think this is super hypocritical since I continued to be a good friend when she rejected me. I love her platonically. Should I try to explore if there's romantic potential here? I'm not about to lose a friend and potentially ruin my close relationship with my sister.
Honestly, no. We don't negotiate with terrorists.
She's being a love terrorist.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I don't know. We don't negotiate whether or not you want to be in a relationship. If you say no and she says, she reacts like this, and then your sister reacts like that, I would be even less attracted to them.
I mean, I think it is important to be like within yourself to be certain
Sure.
on what you feel and how you feel and why you feel that way.
But I would be second guessing.
At the end of the day, if you're like, I don't want to be in a relationship with you, I love you platonically.
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, if that's the case, then I guess we'll never see each other again.
Well,
all you can do is say, I guess I'll try to make peace with your decision.
Duchess brings up a really good point here. OP is totally the backup plan. Are you the first person that she's been like tried to be with romantically or even physically after her relationship?
Yeah.
Because if that's the case,
Backup plan doesn't feel very good.
Just trying to bully you into a relationship.
or at least a rebound.
We have some comments here. Comment number 1, if you don't feel for her, you don't feel for her. You need to confront your sister with her BS. Simply advise her that you can't help that you've moved on and you're no longer romantically interested in her. Tell her that you are disturbed by the fact that she's talking about Jean being your soulmate when she's just another friend you both have in your life. Yeah, you may have had interest in the past, but that was in the past. You've grown as a person and have had experiences with Jean which have changed how you've viewed her as a person. You still care for her, but you can't view her more than a friend now. It's very weird to feel pressured and coerced into a relationship just because someone else feels you are a perfect match and completely disregarding your feelings. That's not healthy and sets a precedent for how any sort of relationship with Jean may go, with your feelings being ignored. Advise her while you understand that Jean is her friend and she wants what's best for her. She cannot possibly think it's okay to dictate who you involve yourself with romantically or who you choose not to. It's none of her business and also makes you feel as if she doesn't have your best interest in mind because you told her how you feel and she's not listening and instead trying to sell you her dream. But what if it's a good dream?
What if it's a dream
Yeah.
of us and 6 kids and we're living in the woods of Washington?
That's your dream, Dad.
It always rains and we sparkle in the sun and we're not really related to each other, but we've all come together through circumstance. And we one day meet a girl who notices us.
From Arizona.
These snobby Italians keep sticking their freaking hands into our business. Anyway, that's the plot of Twilight.
But also, I love how your sister is preaching to you now that like this is soulmates. Where was this preaching back in the day?
Hey, sister, if you love her so much, why don't you marry her?
Hey, that would be crazy.
Plot twist.
If you don't feel something, you don't feel something. You don't owe her anything. When she had you and someone else on the table, she chose someone else. No issue with that. Can't help how you feel. But then you moved on, and you can't help how you feel. It's never all right to be coerced into a relationship. Don't let that sort of behavior slide because then they may take other liberties. If you end up feeling something in the future, cool, but let it be on your terms. And if Jean cares enough, she'll wait and give you the space. She can choose to move on if she likes, but no one should live your life for you, especially not your sister who's shown signs of obvious bias and lack of actual care for your best interests. Try and let Jean down gently but firmly again. Ask her to please respect your decision as you respected hers and not involve your family. Offer space or a break from the friendship if needed, but make your decision clear in no uncertain words. Set boundaries. Hopefully you can move on with your friendship with Jean and relationship with your sister on a healthier road. And there is an update.
Sure is.
Do we think it's gonna be a good update with healthy boundaries?
No, I don't.
I think Jean is gonna go full Phoenix Force mode and try to rip everything apart and pit friend against friend.
I think Jean's about to go a little bit wild.
Over under that they realized that
I think
they're in love?
60%. 60%.
60% dating my sister
Yeah.
odds.
Yeah.
Keon?
I think Jean's about to get a little gray.
All right, because it's a gray area on what gender she's attracted to. Nice. I personally don't see that happening.
Well, let's find
But I wanted to
out.
pose it. Update. Had some people messaging me asking for an update. Blah, 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 blah. Here it is. I had brunch with my sister the day after the first thread went up. I actually showed her the thread, and she spent half of our meal reading through it. She agreed it wasn't her place to butt in and apologized for making the situation more difficult for me.
Okay.
She said she's going to be on my side, and I can count on her going forward.
Well, there we go. Look at that.
So we fixed it with our sister.
We fixed it with words.
Sister fixer. She also agreed with a lot of the posts that I should probably take a clean break, or at the very least have a serious distance between Jean and myself. So that's what I've been doing. Until last night.
What happened last night?
Until last night.
What happened last night? Tell me.
Oh, I went to a party in Brooklyn.
They don't talk like that in Brooklyn.
Yeah, see, I went to a party in Brooklyn. See,
Party in Brooklyn, yeah?
for a friend's birthday and took an Uber back home to Lower Manhattan. Around midnight, my front desk called asking if they should let Jean up. I was confused, but said, yeah. She comes up looking much happier and healthier than I've seen her in months. She hugs me and says she misses me and asks if we can just talk and hang out. She saw me at the party earlier on Instagram, and our mutual friend said I left early, so she came over. That's a little bit too much sleuthing for my taste. Maybe send me a text first before you show up to my place.
I think she still has a crush on you. I think she likes you.
Feels like it. She was sleuthing on you.
Yeah, she's kind of stalking you.
I've been drinking, so things are less awkward, and we start talking like old times about what we've been up to over some beers in my tiny kitchen again. She kisses me, and I don't stop her this time.
Okay, so Opie took some time and he said, I've considered it and I'm kind of into it.
Sipping on that Henry Kissinger vintage.
He said, kiss, kiss, I am falling in love.
She ends up spending the night. Oh, and
What a plot twist.
you can put money on that. It's gonna be a mess.
It was a little kiss, and then maybe a little bit of some bang bang.
Now, when the Henry Kissinger vineyard is involved with lip locking, and it's this complex, I don't think it's gonna be clean.
What about if it's involved with pop locking?
And drop it.
pop locking and dropping it? Well, you have to drop it. I don't think either of them are dropping it right now.
Got it.
They're slopping it. And by the way, you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this on your favorite podcast platforms like iHeartRadio or Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. All you have to do is simply search OK Storytime, and you've got the whole shebang. Every single recording that we have totals up to like 3 months worth of stories.
So many stories.
Listen to them all. And we have a little bit of story left here. I don't anticipate this ending well.
I think there is a chance.
I was gonna say maybe it's good in the short run.
I think there is maybe a chance because she took the time away, felt, got healthier, kind of had that, we don't know if she was single, but had that space to find out who she is outside of this relationship that was so bad. So I honestly think the space away from OP was pretty good for if she had such strong feelings, as she says. And then she took that space, still felt like she had those feelings, and then came to OP again and was like, hey, I've took a little time. Well, what are your thoughts?
My humble prediction is that they're going to wake up. She's going to be like, oh my God, this was the best. So now we're on the road now to being together. And he's going to be like, ooh, I don't know what last night meant. And that's going to, and then it will implode immediately.
Well, I hope not.
That's my guess.
I hope not.
Waking up this morning, I still don't know what to think. I left while she was sleeping to pick up coffee. When I came back, I heard the shower and sat on the bed waiting for her. When she got out, she realized I wanted to talk about last night, so she asked if she could speak first. She said she knows I'm confused, knows how it feels like she's my backup, and knows how it feels like she's a rebound, but none of that is true. She says she loves me and wants to do whatever is necessary to prove it and make it work. I told her I'm feeling confused and don't feel the same type of love for her that she thinks she feels for me. She cried, asking if she could do anything to prove it. I told her I think it's best if we take some time apart to do our own thing and let all these high emotions settle down. If necessary, we can pick up this discussion with cooler heads and maybe even become friends again. She cried more, agreed, and left a few hours ago.
And you hit the nail on the head, Dakota. You really just kind of bullseyed that.
Really hit it. That's the sound of the bull's eye.
That's the sound of the bull's eye.
It's the sound of the bull running.
I'm still feeling shell-shocked over the whole thing and have been pacing around my apartment. I think I made the right decision about taking a clean break for now. I appreciate all the great advice last time, so thanks again. And that is the end of that story.
Yeah, y'all can't be friends right now, for sure.
OP, you kind of messed up with
Yeah, with sleeping with her when you knew that she liked you.
She came over and said, let's talk, and all you guys did was not talk.
You guys were yet another casualty of Henry Kissinger.
It happens,
and
folks.
His
It
dang red
happens.
wine.
You get you, and you just don't even see it coming.
Never drink Kissinger's red wine if you want a simple evening. Kissinger's red wine is gonna get crazy. War crimes.
But that's the end of that story, and we've got another one coming right up.
My best friends kept arguing over small things, and now I canceled our UK trip.
We're done.
So for context, I met my two best friends, Amelia, female 27, and Stacy, female 25, in a group chat 3 years ago now. I live in Europe, and Stacy and Amelia live in the UK. Stacy and Amelia have been best friends long before I've known them.
Ooh.
It's always awkward. By the way, this comes from Moonwitch, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Riley.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. I've learned early on that Stacy is autistic, which is important context. I met up with Amelia first, June 2023, and then again plus Stacy for the first time in September 2023 to attend 2 concerts. Here is where the problems began. I don't know if it's just because Stacy is autistic, but she is a drama queen. She turns a fly into an elephant real fast, jumps to conclusions way too quickly, plays the victim card pretty much always, and never apologizes, even though she's in the wrong a lot of the time. When you try to have an adult conversation and discussion with her, she's immediately playing the victim and accusing you of not understanding her and criticizing her when this isn't even the case. She'd then put words in your mouth, things you haven't even said, and have a full meltdown.
Dude, why are we even friends with her in the first place?
Yeah, you guys, like,
What?
I'm confused. Amelia always has to baby her, then and do everything Stacy asks in order for Stacy to stop her really childish behavior. Now, after the first concert in 2023, Stacy and Amelia began to argue and fight. The band we were seeing is a small band, and they tend to come outside and meet fans after the show, so me and Amelia were eager to try our luck and see if we could meet them. We've been wanting to meet them since 2021. Stacy, on the other hand, got fed up with us for waiting, and once we sort of gave up on trying to wait for this band, we went back to our hotel. Stacy was still so fed up, and I forgot what she was talking about, but that set Amelia off, and they began to bicker and argue back and forth in front of me. Now, due to some trauma inflicted upon me by my dad when I was a kid, I don't like when someone raises their voice or when two people fight. I immediately get scared and I start to shake and feel uncomfortable. Quite frankly, this was my UK trip. I was on vacation for a week to do this, and I just wanted to attend 2 concerts with my best friends and have a nice time. But it got low-key ruined by them arguing the whole time, and I had to listen. The next day, the awkward tension between them was still there because we sort of went to sleep without talking about it further, and I didn't want to be involved in this. Stacy had threatened to cancel the second concert and not go with us, that she wanted to go home instead because she felt not comfortable and not appreciated enough. I don't know.
You can find new friends. Have you ever went backpacking?
Yeah, then I'm like, why? So let her go home.
Yeah, she
Go
can
to
do
the
that.
concert with Amelia.
Amazing.
That was
Sorry, you can't
Stacy.
make it.
Yeah, go with Amelia. Since my dad used to do the same manipulation tactic, I didn't buy it one bit, and I continued to make myself ready for concert number 2 when I heard the loudest scream coming from our hotel bathroom. Amelia thought it was a good idea to scream for a minute to make herself feel better from all the stress and anger she had carried inside her, which scared Stacy, who was now crying and calling her mother hysterically to pick her up from the hotel because she didn't want to be there anymore.
Oh my gosh, dude. This is what happens whenever people are together for too long.
Wasn't only one of them neurodivergent? I think both of them have to be in some way.
I don't know, man.
I keep getting confused which one it was because they're both not like
Stacy has
Stacy.
autism.
Yeah, but
And Amelia calms her down.
Amelia's screaming.
I mean, if I had to be around Stacy for that long, I wouldn't blame her.
Yeah. I was just thinking, now what the F is going on? I then had to go comfort Amelia since she was crying on her bed, and Stacy locked herself in the bathroom and wouldn't come out.
What?
After a long time of this mess, we could talk it out and fix this, but I told them both after I left to go home that I didn't want this to ever happen again.
There's an easy way to make that happen.
Stop being friends with them.
Boom.
This was really traumatizing and has sort of strained my UK trip a little bit. I did have a nice time, but that was traumatizing. Fast forward a year later, Amelia, Stacy, and I are again going to a concert in the UK, 3 concerts to be exact, and Stacy promised me that there wouldn't be any arguments and fights.
Stacy promised you.
And we're
Stacey.
taking this promise. We're going on another trip with these people. She promised me. Well, that promise was broken, and it was once again Stacy who started unnecessary arguments with Amelia about something so ridiculous and really unnecessary. Things like, I don't want to queue this early, or I don't like waiting on stairs, or just simply making remarks at Amelia for having a resting witch face, and for always looking annoyed and fed up when this is just her face. They kept doing this until Stacy cried again and threatened to cancel the rest of the shows we were going to attend and just go back home for this. I was really annoyed and pissed off because they promised me not to argue with each other, and I started to feel that each time we hang out as a trio, they can't keep it together, and they have to argue to ruin my trip. It takes me around 2 hours by plane and several trains later to be at Amelia's house, and I'm not doing all of this work and travel just to listen to them argue for 5 days straight and have them both be in a terrible mood while I just want to enjoy my time. On to the main part and why I ask if I'm the a-hole or not.
Wait, what? What is all this then? What-
Amelia, Stacy,
So were you just like,
that was backstory of
this
their
is
last trip.
backstory?
Yeah. Amelia, Stacy, and I are once again set to meet up in the UK to attend not only another concert, but to also visit a chocolate factory. Amelia wants to show me around the UK a lot more, and I love seeing more of the UK than just the famous London. Because of things that keep happening, I did tell Amelia, if you two start arguing again, I swear to God, I'm not coming to the UK again. I just want to have a nice time with you two and not have my vacation ruined each time.
Oh no, Stacy's gonna be mad. I'm calling it.
Amelia understood and assured me it wouldn't happen again. Okay, hope so at least. When we do have a group chat, though, where we talk sometimes, I told Amelia that I'd like to talk about the upcoming meetup again and have both assure me they won't fight and argue. But I did say that I want to do this and talk about this closer to the time, concerts in November. I didn't tell Stacy anything yet about this because I was going to, but later down the line.
Uh-oh.
While I was in Turkey 2 weeks ago with my mom and stepdad, Amelia texted me saying I should check the group chat. I have it muted. Stacy was accusing me and Amelia of talking behind her back and asking if we could please stop talking behind her back and if we could please include her in the private conversation that me and Amelia have. She also said that we should know she is autistic and she knows herself she isn't perfect and she keeps trying to seek help and blah, blah, blah.
Okay, hot take. Just because you have a neurodivergence shouldn't mean you have to look through the perspective of that, and people should feel guilty about the way
Yeah.
you have gone about things just because you have a certain type of disability.
Yeah, I think that there's grace given to some extent, but like if you're this self-aware, Stacy, like we should have coping mechanisms that we've
Yeah.
learned at this point. Turns out Amelia had warned Stacy beforehand about me wanting to address something very important later down the line in the group chat.
Stacy's gonna make me freaking scream like Amelia did. Oh my gosh.
Stacy didn't take it well, as she always doesn't. I then chimed in and explained to Stacy that for the past 2 times I have traveled to the UK to meet them, there has always been arguments and fights happening between her and Amelia, which does unalive the mood and the vibe, to be honest.
Honestly, I think they're really into each other.
Stacy and Amelia?
Oh yeah,
No
I
way.
feel it.
They argue too much.
But the tension's there. You telling me that if you're arguing with someone that you truly deeply
don't
love
like
and you don't like do
arguing.
the shaboinky doink, that tension doesn't go away?
I get really stressy when I argue.
And then there's a way to de-stress. My son is autistic and has traces of ODD along with other things. It's an explanation, not an excuse.
Yeah.
Exactly. Explanation does not equal excuse or free pass.
Yeah.
Thank you, Whitney Anderson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because while I'm very happy and smiling and feeling very excited to be here, they're just ruining my mood and my vacation by not keeping it together for once. It's not hard to understand. I told her. Amelia also chimed in, but only to say, going to turn my phone off, good night, which also pisses me off. Amelia avoids any kind of conflict like the plague, while I like to have a good discussion or I just confront people when I don't like something. Well, Stacy left the group chat and blocked Amelia temporarily, now asks me to apologize to her for what I said. In Stacy's mind, I'm the problem and I'm in the wrong and I should apologize to her when I haven't even done anything wrong, other than try to voice a boundary and ask if we can please not argue and fight whenever I'm there. We don't have to fight all the time and create unnecessary drama, do we? Stacy now threatens again to cancel the upcoming concert and the chocolate factory trip if I don't apologize And Amelia also says I should apologize even though she knows I did nothing wrong. So am I the a-hole for this?
OP, we'll give you the pass for making these mistakes, all right? But if you do not learn anything from
I was
this,
going to say, you have to learn from it.
I am going to call you the a-hole until oblivion because you know what you got to do here. Also, huge shout out to Whitney Anderson. I feel like a lot of this starts with the parents.
Yeah.
Because if I feel like Stacy's acting this way, it's because her parents, you're autistic. Like, okay, we'll work with you instead of
Yeah. It's
challenging
hard,
her.
especially because that is such a spectrum. I feel like a lot, like, as everyone, like, learns more about, like, the spectrum of it, like, there's been a lot. People have been a lot better about being like, okay, like, we can hold, like, I can hold myself accountable. I can learn. I can, like, get my own coping mechanisms kind of
Yeah.
things. Where, like, parents might not have known that before as much because there was
Mhm.
such, like, bad stigma to, like, any mental illness.
Yeah. I've seen parents do that to children and the way they turn out.
My good.
Oh.
Update. I was planning to cancel and call the trip off because of their ongoing fights and arguments between each other, ruining my UK trips that require 2+ hours by plane and several more hours by train to get to Amelia's house. After Amelia talked to Stacy behind my back about me thinking about canceling the trip, Stacy flipped out and I was forced to apologize to her when I didn't do anything wrong. And now I'm sure you'll be pleased to hear that the UK trip is officially canceled. Finito. Done.
Thank goodness. Oh my God. I would have went insane.
That would have been crazy. You know, they would have immediately argued.
It's because they love each other.
So I did actually end up apologizing to Stacy, even though I didn't think I had to. But I just wanted this to be over with. Stacy then blatantly ignored my messages for about 2 weeks before eventually replying to them. I then had a serious talk with her, explaining everything in depth and opening up my heart about the situation, how this makes me feel, how they ruined my vacation trip because of this, and how it wasn't fair on my end. I suggested they take a break from their friendship, not talk to each other for a while, or have a sit down together and chat, just like I did with her. Stacy said she understood where I was coming from, understood what I meant, and acknowledged how bad this really is, that the two of them really need to have a chat about it to fix things. She seemed really sympathetic and understanding, which surprised me at first. But I was also glad she understood my point of view and why this was important to me. Stacy thanked me for being so upfront and honest and promised to me that she'd talk with Amelia while grabbing some coffee the next day. I thanked her as well, and we left it at that. I felt good having told Stacy what bothered me, and I was hoping it would get fixed now and they'd resolve the issue. I was wrong.
You're better off trusting a snake than Stacy.
Like, really wrong. As the days went on, it seemed to go great until Amelia continued to text me and rant to me about how Stacy was doing X, Y, and Z things and how much it annoyed her. How Stacy was having tantrums if things didn't go her way. How Stacy would sulk and make a scene for whatever reason. I honestly had no clue what to even say or do anymore. I go numb. I thought I made my point clear. I have the feeling that both don't even listen to me when I try to confront them about something, as Amelia also continues to hang out with Stacy almost daily and is asking herself why the arguments continue. I told her that the friendship may be long overdue. This isn't a friendship anymore, and clearly nothing will ever change. Yesterday, while I was eating dinner, Amelia texted me, and I quote, "She arrived in a mood because she wants me to go to her house next week to meet some singer and watch her do some charity fashion show. And I said no because I have to work those days, sorry. And she isn't talking to me and just sitting with her headphones, and we are having no food because I said no." I flipped out on Amelia, finally reaching my last straw. I said to her, "Can you guys just get your crap together already? Like, this is what I talked to Stacy about, not wanting to have any arguments when we spend time together again. I'm honestly so sick and tired of this BS. Why can't you guys ever behave?"
How many friend groups of 3 have you seen implode? I've seen 2 happen.
At least one.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like, outside of just my own, way more, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, not your own. I'm just saying, like, in general.
Oh, yeah. Like, at least 4 or 5, I feel like.
What about you guys? How many friend groups of 3 have you seen implode?
I think that, though, I've seen more because I was just around more, like, female friend groups, probably. And that's
Yeah.
so common. I honestly had enough. And I told Amelia I was going to cancel the UK trip now because I'm done with dealing with this.
Let's go, OP.
Nothing will ever change between the two of them. And Amelia even told me that Stacy never even had this serious conversation about this whole thing. Why the F did I then have a whole butt talk with Stacy for? So she just agreed to everything I said without even meaning it, and she doesn't even give 2 craps. Amelia was sad I was going to cancel the trip, but too bad. Mother effer. It's your fault. I'm done playing patient. I've done everything I could. At this point, I don't even want to go anymore. Not because of them constantly fighting, but in general. I'm not that interested, and I was hesitating to proceed with the planning of this. And as we reached September, I was growing more anxious. That's off the table now. To get a second opinion, I texted my mom, asking her if that was the right decision. And even my mom agreed that it's best I canceled because I wouldn't have been happy anyway, which is true.
Yeah, honestly.
Your mom knows what's up.
I almost canceled a trip recently because I thought a certain person was going to be on the trip. I was like, I am not about to be with that person for 2 weeks, but they're
What
not going,
trip?
so.
Drama.
Drama.
My mom also agrees that Amelia and Stacy have no friendship anymore, but just keep each other around out of habit. They have been friends for 10 plus years, and it became a habit, clearly. I told Amelia what my mom said, and Amelia is fine with me canceling the trip now and understands that she needs new friends. She also keeps telling me it's hard to make friends. She has met one girl, but she loves absolutely nothing. According to Amelia, this girl doesn't like music, doesn't like concerts, doesn't like going out, doesn't like shopping, doesn't like anything really other than her boyfriend and her dog.
Ew!
But you know what I really like?
What?
If you would go and listen to more full episodes with stories just like this,
Oh my gosh, I like that too.
you can go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts, and search up OK Storytime. There's just a little bit left.
Think everyone's problems is that we're too much on phones. And if we are going to be in our phones, we need to be on our phones in a community type or fashion, like playing games that
say,
are
like,
community based or being on
Chatting
chat.
on OK Storytime?
Yes, being in chat, being in a way in an area that connects people. If we
Yeah.
weren't on our phones, we'd go out to places and we'd interact with one another, and OP would find better friends.
It's true.
That's
Easy,
what I
just
think.
like get a hobby.
Oh my gosh, please.
That's the only two things she likes. She's just strange. But Amelia should just maybe go out more and meet someone. I don't know. She keeps saying how much she misses me and misses seeing me. Of course I miss her too, but I don't want to see Stacy right now. And I'm doing myself a favor and calling the whole thing off. If they can't behave and just shut up for once, I have to take matters into my own hands. The trip is off, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. My mom said it was the right decision, and I say the same. They can go and see that singer alone, but I am not joining them. I won't waste yet again time and money on this. Their actions have consequences, and that's their consequence now. Sorry, not sorry.
Huh, thank goodness that's the end of that one.
My best friend reconnected with my ex, and now I can't stay friends with him.
Well, that's just how the cookie crumbles.
Me, 23 male, and my best friend, 23 male, have known each other since we were about 14 years old. He's actually a very good friend and has always been very supportive and loyal. Let's call him Tom. By the way, this comes from Joseph Luigi, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, unfortunately, Tom has had it a bit rough throughout his life. Not going to go into specifics, but let's say he hasn't had the best family environment. He has had health complications to the point that he can be described as having a disability. Had to almost replace his dad in some ways when raising his little sisters and other stuff. Still, he has managed to stay very, very positive about life and is one of the purest hearts out there. In 2019, I was 16 and got a girlfriend who was 15 at the time. Let's call her Sam. It took me about a year to introduce them both because he was studying at a different school, and for almost a year, we didn't talk much. Still, when we did talk, I used to tell him a lot about her. Eventually, they met because I invited them to an escape room for my birthday. They hit it off very quickly as they were both very kind and good-hearted. The three of us would hang out very often and had very good times together. To be clear, during our time together, they never hung out by themselves. Sam was very respectful of our relationship, and so was Tom. They did message each other sometimes, but the vast majority of their communication was through a group chat that we had together. They became as good friends as you can become with this situation up. In February of 2023, she broke up with me on relatively good terms. We said that we'd stay friends. One of the things that happened during the breakup was that she thanked me for introducing her to Tom because he was such a good friend. That threw me off a bit at the time, but I figured it didn't matter anymore. After that conversation, Sam asked me if we could pretend to still be together when her mom picked her up from our university because she didn't want her to know about it yet. I accepted. After all, I still cared for her. For the next 2 weeks, the three of us would still make calls and play video games together as we used to do, but it obviously felt off. I tried to be as nonchalant as possible and hung out with my uni friends. Sometimes Sam and I would bump into each other, but I actively tried to avoid her. One time, I was talking with some friends when she pulled me aside to greet me with a kiss on the cheek and walk away. My friends and I stared at each other in silence as it was a bit uncomfortable. After 2 weeks, Sam said that she needed to talk with me to help her with her mind. The most important thing about that conversation was that she felt hurt because I didn't search for her after the breakup, even after I told her that I'd respect her decision.
What?
That rang an alarm in my brain as trouble, and I decided to drop all communication with her for good. I didn't block her or anything, but I stopped following her on every social media platform, deleted her number, and deleted all the chats I had with her. During this grieving period, I started to vent with Tom, but Sam was also doing the same. I knew because he sometimes told me, but I never asked about it because I believe that their friendship is private to them and I should respect that. This situation made me feel uncomfortable talking about my pain with him, so I resorted to other friends. I am an extrovert, so I have many groups of friends, some of which know each other and some who don't. I started venting with my uni friends who aren't acquainted with Tom. They mentioned an apparent friend of mine who was adding flirty comments with Sam and tagging her in some relationship posts. I truly didn't care about that and very quickly forgot they even said something about it. Tom began to add stories hanging out with Sam, which made me uncomfortable at first, but who am I to tell anyone else who they should or shouldn't hang out with? He had been telling me about girls he was interested in, but it never worked out. Months passed and he had different crushes, some of whom liked him, but most ghosted or ignored him. Sam and Tom seemed to have actually become very good friends, maybe best friends at times, and nothing more. Some friends asked me if I wasn't uncomfortable about my best friend and my ex still hanging out. I told them I had no issue with it, and I truly meant it. During this time, I met another girl in July 2023, let's call her Kate, though she only plays a small part in this story. We stayed as friends, then she ghosted me, started talking again in December, only for me to get ghosted again. She came back in June 2024, apologizing for how she treated me, and we actually started to have a very solid relationship after that, thinking we would get married. Both she and my parents were also head over heels with that relationship. Entered December 2024, and Tom comes to me with some news. Sam had found out that I had a new girlfriend and was furious with him because he didn't tell her. After that, she decided to stop being friends with Tom. This time, I did ask him the details because I thought she would be capable of sabotaging my relationship with Kate. In conversation, he told me that there was a short time in which he thought he had feelings for Sam. They talked it over at the time and realized they weren't actually falling for each other and stayed friends. He also apologized because he never asked me how I felt about their relationship. I told him I wasn't mad that they were friends or anything. The only thing that would make me really uncomfortable and make me want to distance myself would be if they became a couple. At the end of our chat, Tom said that he was done with her and wouldn't stand being treated like that. We cheered for that and laughed it off. In February 2025, Kate and I broke up for reasons that don't concern this particular story. Since April, many friends have come up to me to talk about my last breakup, but this subject has been discussed a lot more than I would have expected. Since April, many friends have come up to me to talk about my last breakup, but this subject has been discussed a lot more than I would have expected. Basically, everyone who has been a little involved with my personal life saw some years ago that after Sam and I broke up, Tom and her were flirty. Everyone has been telling me that it's not something a good friend would do, and they may have a point. Still, I defended Tom because I know he is not ill-intended and has had it rough. The fact that he has friends who help him emotionally brings me joy. Also, he was not talking with her, so it didn't matter to anyone. A couple months ago, Tom told me that Sam reached out to him to apologize and ask if they could be friends again. He brushed her off. But something happened that I'm not aware of, and they became friends again. By the way, you guys should be aware that we have full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search up OK Storytime. We have just a little bit left. Yeah, kind of just sounds to me like classic college drama relationships thing.
Bro code being violated.
Yeah.
Not cool, man.
Not cool.
Yeah.
You like just distance yourself from both maybe at that point. If it's really gonna hurt you if he's dating Sam.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that might be, like if other people are still stuck in this kind of high school type drama in college, then it's like maybe you just gotta get away from these people a bit.
I more so just feel even get away from it because it's gonna get messy.
Totally.
You don't want to be in that. We have a little bit left. In conversation, he has mentioned her very lightly as if nothing bad ever happened between them. A girlfriend of mine who somewhat knows Tom highlighted they are now very good friends again and asked me how they are talking if they had argued before. I told my friend it was irrelevant and that I'm happy that he has emotional support. Not that she is the only one, just that it is good that he has her as one. However, this time I feel differently. Maybe it does affect me, but mostly I have been thinking that I might be impeding those two from ending up together. I'm actually planning on telling him I want to distance myself from him as long as he's friends with my ex. I don't want to put him in a situation where he has to choose one friendship and drop the other, but I feel like it's what has to be done. Still, I'm not sure if I should do it or if I'm actually making a storm in a glass of water. Would I be the a-hole if I distance myself? And that is the end of that story. And I do not think that you would be.
I don't think so at all.
I think you should.
Yeah, like I feel like if you tried to be involved more, then that would be impeding on their relationship. Like I think you being distant and you impeding are two very different things. I feel like they do not.
Yeah.
They cannot happen at the same time.
If your friend and Sam are gonna give it a go, step away and let them give it a go.
Yeah, sure.
My friend was betrayed by her boyfriend, and she thinks I'm the affair partner. I swear I'm not. I, 28 female, have been best friends with 28 female Kate since we were 14. We've always been super close and also had other friends and friendship groups, which I've always considered really healthy. By the way, this comes from Icy Experience 1478, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. And I'm Angie. I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We just know what we would do in this situation, so let us know what you would do in the comments. So, OP says, we've never fought, but had many disagreements solved over a cup of coffee and face-to-face resolutions. This is something I've always treasured about Kate, as neither of us will hide behind a keyboard, or so I thought. Most of our conversations over text go, hey, we need to talk, and the response is usually, where are we meeting? And the problem is solved. Kate has recently gotten into her first ever relationship with 32 male Chase, who introduced her to his friend, let's call her Cynthia, 31 female. Recently, Kate has been spending more time around Cynthia. Cynthia is an interesting character, and I'm personally not a huge fan, but I keep the peace out of respect for Kate. A little backstory. We had an early galsmas with quite a large group of girls 2 weeks ago. And I noticed Cynthia commenting on Kate's hair, saying things like, didn't feel like looking pretty tonight. Looks like you dipped your head in a deep fryer? Huh? I'm sorry. Immediately kicked out of Galsmas. On Galsmas? On Galsmas? On Galsmas? On the sacred day of Galsmas? Wow. Like, are you kidding me? Tisk. That's insane. Yeah. And she even commented on her weight. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. You are getting coal for Galsmas. Yes, I'll tell you are. Oh, yeah. Mrs. Claus has the words for you. Ooh-wee. Kate has struggled with her weight since going on birth control, and this was her first relationship. I told Cynthia to ease up on the commentary, and she rolled her eyes, saying she was joking. Shut up, Cynthia. Oh my God. Shut up. I know she wasn't, but Kate seemed unaffected, so I left it. Cynthia had recently had surgery on her eyes, and didn't bring glasses. We were originally booked inside, but decided to move outside because the weather was beautiful.
I kept seeing Cynthia squinting and rubbing her eyes. I was wearing sunglasses on the back of my head, so I offered them to her as long as she returned them. She said, of course, and our day continued. Later that night, Kate seemed down. We had a chat, and she expressed that she felt ugly and wanted to go home.
Oh,
Cynthia?
Cynthia.
I got some words for you, Cynthia.
Boy.
Cynthia. I reassured her that she looked gorgeous, like you said, and to ignore Cynthia's comments. Kate looked at me and said, oh, we're bashing Cynthia again, are we?
Jesus.
Whoa, he's up on the commentary.
Oh, girl can't even. This is what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about like sometimes when you're listening to a friend like complain about something and then
Yeah.
you're trying to like, actively listen and be like, oh yeah, that does suck. And they're like, no, it doesn't.
Oh,
and then
God.
they're like, yeah, this person did this. And you're like, wow, that's really unfair of them. And they're like, no, it isn't. And you're
Yeah,
like, what do you want from me?
Sorry.
What? I'm just trying to be nice.
That was just my opinion.
Jeez.
guess it's different.
Sorry, I guess Cynthia's a saint for calling you
Yeah.
like fat and ugly. I don't know.
Ever since Wicked came out, all
Jeez.
Cynthias have a good reputation, but that's not the case. Not the case. I've been very open about not being a fan of Cynthia, purely due to personality clash. We are adults, but I have spoken to Kate in the past because Cynthia's demeaning comments about her appearance and weight always brought Kate down. I don't stand for that and said straight up, she's a crappy friend, and I don't understand why you want someone like that in your life. This was not out of jealousy, but concern. For some backstory now. Kate had very awful parents who made similar comments. My main concern was that this could be a form of Stockholm syndrome, but I advised Kate that she's an adult and can be friends with who she wants, even if it's not great for her mental health. Back to the story. I was shocked that Kate said I was attacking her. I can be blunt, I know that, but I couldn't understand how she was upset about someone's comments one second and then protecting them the next. She has been snappier since getting into her first relationship, and I understand she's on birth control and facing added stress that she's never had before. I copped it on the chin and left it at that. I said if she wanted to go home, I could come with her. She stormed off, saying, not a chance. I turned around and saw Cynthia watching. She ran over, grabbed Kate's jacket she left behind, and said, I'll go with her. I said, thank you, take care of her. This is weird. And Kate left, and Cynthia didn't come back, so I assumed they stayed together, and my night went on. But what we're gonna find out soon is that Cynthia had OP's glasses on.
Oh.
Is she gonna give them back?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
She's a little thief.
She's a little thief. Kate sometimes works away from home, leaving Chase alone. I never go there when Kate isn't home because 1, she's not there, and 2, why would I?
True.
A few days later, I got a text from Kate. We need to talk. I replied, absolutely. Where should we meet? And she said, come to mine. I offered to bring coffee or a hangover cure, but she declined. I thought nothing of it and made my way over. As I walked in, I could tell that she had been crying. I went to hug her and asked what was wrong when she pushed me aside and slid over my sunglasses that I lent to Cynthia at the Galsmas day. That's just really, I love this, the picture that this is all painted.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
I'm assuming they're both wearing Santa hats.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got ugly Christmas sweaters on still.
Galsmas is continuing.
Yeah, like this girl is hung over from Galsmas.
Great. Wearing same clothes, same makeup.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Sure.
A little bit of glitter,
Yeah,
but it's kind of like shifted.
all they did was go to a restaurant
Yeah.
and she left early. But still, she's upset.
She continued the party back
She
home.
continued.
Let me tell you.
I was confused. Thinking back, I had assumed Cynthia stayed the night and left the sunglasses. Without an explanation, I didn't see a big deal. Kate started going off about finding girls' bras and underwear on the floor, along with the sunglasses. She was framed!
She was framed.
Oh my gosh, are you joking?
She was framed.
I'm like gonna get ahead of myself trying to guess what happened. So I'm just gonna read.
Yeah.
Her partner's work has a no phone policy, so she couldn't check in with him, but she was quick to assume that it was me. This literally unalived me inside. I knew the accusation that I slept with Chase. I've always honored myself as a loyal friend, and this assumption made me furious. I saw red. It's like your Christmas hat.
Ooh.
She was screaming and crying. I stood up and said, "Are you effing kidding me?" When she went quiet, I yelled, asking why I was her first assumption. When in 14 years of friendship had I ever shown disloyalty? I slammed the door after saying, "Maybe you should check with your friend Cynthia. I left her with my sunglasses at the Christmas party because her eyes were bloodshot and sore." Oh, you got her.
Oh.
Oh.
Ow. Bow, 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 bow. Too hot.
Too hot. Untouched, dude.
Mm.
That's all I said. I slammed the door and left. I admit, an accusation like this hurt me more than it should have. I'm currently single. My last 2 partners cheated
Ouch.
on me,
Dang.
and my most recent partner cheated on me with our good friend. Wow.
No, OP.
Disloyalty is a big no-no in my books, and I thought after all this time she would know that. Anyway, 3 days later, my phone was blowing up from Kate. The first day, she called me all sorts of names. Sloot, witch, you name it. The second day, nothing. Today, I got a very apologetic message from Kate after not responding at all.
Okay, I don't freaking care.
I don't even care,
I don't
Kate.
freaking care.
Go sing songs with Cynthia.
Literally.
I don't even care. Chase admitted that it wasn't the first time. What? Yet they're choosing to stay together.
That he cheated?
Wait, let me say that again.
It's not the first time he cheated?
Today I got a very apologetic message from Kate after not responding at all. Sentence I missed was, "It turns out it was Cynthia."
Oh, we're all shocked.
Yeah. Come on. Chase admitted it wasn't the first time, yet they're choosing to stay together. Honestly, not my circus, not my monkeys. Kate said she'd do anything to take back what she said in the accusations. I responded about how hurt I was, and that if she doesn't trust me so much and is quick to blame me, maybe we should cut it here and take what we've gotten from this friendship. She was very upset.
Yeah. The consequences of your actions.
Yeah, dude.
Really? What did you think was going to happen?
Her 2 older sisters and our friends have been messaging me saying how cruel I
shut
am.
up.
Girl, Chase even said she needs you right now. And I replied,
I'm sorry.
F off.
I'm sorry.
Bro.
The cheater?
I replied, F off. I still love her and wouldn't speak down to her, yet from what people are saying, I don't think she feels the same. Am I the a-hole for dumping this friendship, quote, like a sack of crap, like everyone is saying? I just can't be bothered with this drama. And there are some comments, but what's our answer?
You've dropped a sack of crap. Indeed.
Yeah, you definitely
Stinky.
did.
There is no simile here.
Yeah, I mean,
You are dropping a sack of crap.
yeah, it could always just be like I was hurt by that. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to see changes before. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna need time.
Yeah.
Something like that at the very
And a
least.
better apology than like, oops.
We do have some comments. Comment number 1 says, "Not the a-hole. She needs some help and probably therapy.
Oh, yeah.
You're not her emotional bag. This sounds super messy, so distance yourself now before they show you how bad it can get." Opie says, "About 3 years ago, she spoke about therapy and being unable to afford it. I ended up paying for the first 3 sessions, and she continued going up until she started dating her partner. Hopefully, she does go back."
I'm sorry. You paid for the first 3 sessions of her therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how she treats a friend who does stuff like that?
Yeah. I don't like this relationship that she's gotten herself into.
I don't either.
I don't like it.
The relationship with her partner who cheats on her? Who she's staying with? The
And
problem
she
is this is
changed
her
after
first
getting-
relationship.
I know. I think that's difficult too because it's like, well, are the behavioral changes happening because she's on birth control?
Mhm.
Are they happening because she's in this relationship?
Yeah.
2 new
Probably
things here.
both.
And you can find more episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search Joke Story Time. But we do have an update, believe it or not.
Oh, gee
A
whiz.
little update.
Oh,
Ooh. Update! Thank you all for your advice. I was worried I was being too harsh by ending this relationship, but after reading the comments and trusting my gut, I've decided the friendship is not something I need in my life right now. Unfortunately, a lot of people Kate is surrounding herself with lately are older, but definitely don't act like it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go into full detail as the story was long enough, but I have spoken to her in the past about how I thought Chase was influencing her life which ended in a little argument with her, claiming that I didn't want her to be happy, which wasn't true at all. A few years ago, I helped Kate with therapy payments to assist with past traumas. I didn't keep tabs on her as it wasn't my business, but she updated me when she wanted to. I truly wished her the best with her future endeavors. I let her know this over text and left it at that. And that's the end of that story.
And that's the end of that story.
Done and done, dude.
Yeah. Kate's gonna hopefully eventually figure out that this is not the only man in the world.
Yeah.
And Cynthia is not the only friend in the world.
Yeah. Hopefully there's some sort
yeah.
of like breaking point.
Yeah. But that you don't
And-
have to be there for that.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to be her punching bag until she can figure it out.
And I mean, first relationship, you'll make some mistakes.
Yeah.
She'll learn a lot from that once she's
And a
out
lot
of
of
it.
a lot of times you're in these like really terrible first relationships.
Mhm.
Like I know friends who've been through this, and then
Mhm.
they you have kind of messy friendship breakups because of that.
Mhm.
And then once you're out of it, you're like, oh, I've realized I've treated those people in my life pretty badly, and you can't always get them back, but you can do better in your next friendships.
Totally.
I refuse to let a stranger hijack my Friendsgiving party with a surprise proposal.
Stranger danger. Stranger danger.
Yes, you strange man. You will never be married. I, 31 male, host a Friendsgiving and Thanksgiving dinner every year before actual Thanksgiving. Family and close friends come over and we do the traditional feast, games, activities, and, pretty normal stuff. This year we invited a friend, Jackie. We have played games with her online for years, but only met her in person this past March. She brought her new partner, Mike, 30 male. None of us really liked him, mostly because he insists on bringing up politics in literally any conversation, but he seemed like a decent enough guy otherwise. For context, Jackie and Mike had only been dating for about a month when we met him, so it was a very new relationship. We invited Jackie to Friendsgiving this year, and we were told Mike would not make it due to work. Cool. No big deal. Until tonight.
Dun dun dun.
I got a text from Mike, not Jackie, Mike. He said he could actually come to Friendsgiving after all, but he didn't want Jackie to know.
What?
Then he told me he would arrive around 6 p.m. and that we needed to be ready to take a bunch of pictures because this guy wanted to propose to her at my Friendsgiving.
Oh my goodness.
Here's the thing. Even though we've known Jackie for years, we do not know her super well personally. We rarely talked about our real lives while gaming. Only in the past 10 months has she become more involved in the friend group outside of talking about League of Legends. We do not know much about her relationship with Mike. I do not even know if they live together. And again, I have met this man one time in my entire life. What really gets me is that he already took off work, bought the ring, made a whole plan, did not consult me, and basically just told me this is what he's doing at my Friendsgiving, as if it was a done deal. A week and a half before Friendsgiving is when he revealed his secret plot. Friendsgiving is usually for my immediate family because on actual Thanksgiving, I go to my fiance's family's house, so it feels really weird to have a guy I barely know propose at my house to a friend I care about but don't know well in terms of her personal or romantic life. I do not know if she even wants to get married. I don't know if this is kind of rushed and half-baked proposal is something she would appreciate. Not only that, but I really do not want to be part of a potentially disastrous moment. I wanted to say no, but I also felt bad because Jackie doesn't have many friends in this state, and her family lives across the country. I get why Big Mike thinks this is the perfect setting. There are people she knows and a big gathering, but I think he wildly misunderstands how close we all are, and he's putting me in a super uncomfortable position. Am I the a-hole if I tell Mike he cannot propose at my Friendsgiving? And there is an edit. In my post, I originally stated that he said, this is what I'm doing at your Friendsgiving. Are you cool with that? But actually, he did not ask. He simply said, I want to make it a surprise for Jackie. I pulled some strings to get the day off, but I told her I was doing some drills this weekend, the weekend of Friendsgiving. I just need someone to take some pictures and videos. Can you do that? He never actually asked me if I was okay with it. He just asked me to take pictures and videos, and we have an actual update. I received a lot of helpful replies. Last night, I decided to paint Mike a better picture of what kind of event this would be and who all would be attending. and gently tell him this might not be the best time or place to do this. I also told him plans were already made and set to be at 3 p.m., so his arrival time of 6 p.m. would not work. He has yet to reply to me. Yet he is posting on his Instagram story as I type this out. It has been over 12 hours. I will update when something happens. And we have another update. Something happened.
Oh my gosh. What do you think she could even do to make this not happen?
I think you just say no.
Yeah.
No. No.
Yeah. I think you'd have to say no, and then if he insists or if he doesn't respond, you have to be like, well, I'm gonna tell her that you're gonna do that if you don't tell me that you're gonna not do
I think you say, Mike, I can't have you do this because I'm the one who's in love with you.
it.
Mike,
I was already gonna propose.
from the moment I saw you that one time that I've seen you once, I knew you were my forever.
Oh my gosh.
And I just want to, and I want you. I want you
Yeah.
more.
You do the thing where like he stands up to make his toast, and then you're like, wait, I have something to say,
Yeah.
and then you beat him to it.
I'm actually better at Jackie at League of Legends.
Yeah.
So you should marry me instead.
Right.
There's another update. After my text, Mike responded stating that he would just arrive earlier and explained that Jackie's ideal proposal was a New Year's Eve type proposal with close friends, but not a crowd, so this event was perfect. He also said she told him it must be recorded. I asked if he knew how she wanted to be dressed for the proposal since the videos and pictures were going to be something they looked back on. He did not know how she wanted to be dressed, but assumed a little dressy. He told me to record from his point of view and have someone else record from her point of view as he's walking into the house while everyone is eating. Then he would propose after he walked through the door. I was starting to see that his plan was not aligning with her ideal proposal. I reiterated that this was an event where I was hosting my family and my friends from childhood and college. She would only know about 5 people out of the 17, so this probably was not going to fit the close friends and not a crowd vibe she asked for. I also explained it was super casual and not a dressy thing, and the last event I invited her to, she showed up in sweats. I told Mike that I loved his idea of surprising Jackie and that he should definitely still come because it would make her day. It just didn't seem like a good timing since we never got to plan it together, and it felt like a last-minute heads-up for something so important for both of them.
Yeah.
I ended it by saying we would all pitch in to set up something special and on a small scale for them. Mike did not respond for a few days. I reached out again this morning asking if he saw my text. He said, "Oh, sorry, just saw this. I have already rescheduled with work, which is really difficult to do. I was able to encourage her to wear a dress. I have been planting seeds for this. Sorry, I will need to think about it." No, you won't, because you're not going to do it. I don't want you to do it. Don't do it. Are you really going to do this?
You're
You've
also
already-
running out of time. A few days have gone by of Mike just not responding at all. And it was a week. We got a week and a half notice.
A week and a half. Is that like how
So-
long he's planned it as well? It's like he just
Probably.
was like, this would be a great idea. I think maybe
Yeah.
I'll propose.
He's
Get
like,
myself a wife.
You can't be mad at me for not having a plan set yet. I only thought about this like a couple days ago. You give me a second to plan a proposal.
So I did not respond immediately so I could think of how to say it again. You could just say, Mike, this is not happening.
Yeah.
You're not doing this here, Mike.
Yeah.
You're now actually uninvited, Mike. Before I could respond, he messaged me again saying he spoke to his brother who agreed with me about if Jackie didn't know the majority of people there, then it wouldn't fit what she wanted. He said he was now going to pivot and set up something special for the two of them at home the next day, and he would still come and surprise her and join us for dinner and games. Sorry for not having a climactic ending like many of you were hoping for, but I feel this is the best case scenario. I still feel like it's bad for Jackie. She's going to get proposed to by Big Mike.
I need this to just happen, and we need to see what Jackie's reaction is.
Yes, but unfortunately, I don't think that'll be the case here.
Yeah.
Thank you for all your help and replies. It really helped me navigate this weird situation, and that is the end of that story.
Well, I need to hear from Jackie.
My friend made everything about herself, so I ended our friendship.
Exhausting.
This comes directly from the OK Storytime subreddit.
Yes.
The story starts in September of 2023 when I met Sasha at church. Although we were the same age, 21 female at the time, I was finishing up my senior year of college and Sasha was working full time. We were both still in the era of our life where we were figuring out what our careers were going to be and what we wanted to do for the rest of our lives. I figured we'd get along really well, or so I thought. By the way, this comes from non-music prodigy. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit, which is where this is from. And I'm Carly.
I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. Let us know what you would do in the comments. Sasha seemed really shy when I first met her. We'd have surface level conversations at church, and that was it. She didn't seem to want to hang out outside of church. I didn't push her, figuring she'd open up when she was ready. That's why I was excited when Sasha texted me asking if I wanted to go to a concert with her in May of 2024. I very enthusiastically said yes. Now here's where things start to get complicated. Sasha lived in one city and I lived in another, and the concert was happening in a third city. When discussing plans for the concert, Sasha specifically pointed out that my home city was closer to the concert than her home city was. Given this information, I suggested she pick me up and bring me to the concert in her car, but then she asked if we could use my car. I was confused and asked if she wanted me to pick her up in my car instead of her picking me up, but then she said, "No, I can just leave my car at your place." I asked if she wanted to leave her car at my place while I drove us to the concert in my own car, and she said yes. This entire exchange had happened over text. That little guessing game was so complicated.
It doesn't sound like a guessing game.
Sounded pretty straightforward, but pop off.
She'll drive to your place and then you'll
You
drive to the concert.
Yeah.
Sounds straightforward.
I still don't know why Sasha didn't just communicate that from the start. She felt bad about asking it, so she wanted me to suggest it and then she could agree. It still felt strange, but I tried not to think too much of it. The day of the concert arrived, and we got there on time. It was a 90-minute drive. The concert itself was great, but then we were out in the parking lot in my car waiting for post-concert traffic to disappear. I was struggling to get out of my parking space because traffic was backed up so far, and Sasha made an offhanded comment about how I should learn to drive more aggressively. It felt like a dig. Even if it wasn't, it didn't seem like we were at that level of friendship yet. When we finally got out of the parking lot, Sasha was playing through all the videos she'd taken on her phone during the concert. I was struggling to stay awake as I drove. Sasha noticed me struggling and kept asking if I was good. I said yes and turned on some music to keep myself awake. Sasha was playing her videos at 80% volume, so even if I wanted to talk, she probably wouldn't have heard me. Once the traffic disappeared, Sasha asked if we could stop for food. I thought this was inconsiderate since she noticed I was tired and I just wanted to get home. I didn't voice this and I drove us to get the food. She got a whole meal and a Pepsi and I just got water. We finally got back to my house where Sasha had left her car. There's something else I forgot to mention. In addition to the little guessing game Sasha had made me play with the car arrangements, she had also asked if I wanted to ride to church with her the next morning, since the concert was on a Saturday night. This meant she wanted to spend the night at my place and I could drive her to church in the morning. I answered that I didn't think I'd be going to the church the next morning. I figured Sasha should have taken my reply as a gentle no to her asking to stay the night. I think you're assuming a lot of things.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of really psychic communication, and we should just be more clear about how we think and feel about stuff. You just tell Sasha, hey, you can't really stay the night at my place tonight. I'm not really feeling it.
And I mean, is it really that bad if she does, though? I'm like, if you previously told her and she was planning to crash, she'll just get up and leave in the morning.
There's
I'm
also
just,
that.
Also just confused at the gravity that we're putting on everything.
Yeah, and how far away is Sasha from her place?
We didn't get that, yeah.
If it's already late and then Sasha, it might just make sense for her
That's
to
what I'm
stay.
saying. If people are tired. But when we were back at my place after the concert, Sasha asked to come inside for some water. I invited her in and poured her a glass of water. She took the water, sat down at the kitchen table, and started scrolling through her phone, making no move to leave. I couldn't punt her out after inviting her in.
Nah, but you can. It's like you say, hey, you had your water, and now I think it's time to mosey on home now.
Yeah, you go, oh, I'm really tired. I'm going to go to bed. Are you going to leave? I pointed out where our restrooms were, but she still didn't look up from her phone. My younger brother Jack, 19 male at the time, walked in. He had just come from the same concert with his friends. Jack greeted us and asked what we thought of the concert. Sasha started telling Jack about all her favorite songs and moments of the concert while I stood there. It felt low-key offensive because Sasha had barely acknowledged me during the 2-hour ride home. She didn't ask me about my favorite songs or moments. The conversation between Sasha and Jack continued. At one point, Sasha got really excited and spoke so loud I had to gently remind her that the rest of my family was asleep. I said I was heading to bed, hoping she would take it as a cue to leave. But she stayed for almost another hour trying to talk to Jack until he told her he was tired. I ended up going to church late the following morning, and Sasha didn't go at all. That was the first situation that rubbed me the wrong way. The second begins like this. I was talking to a guy named Mark in my senior year of college. Mark and I started talking on Discord, trying to schedule a meetup in my city. Mark and his friends planned to see a concert in my city in June 2024, and I suggested a group of my friends meet him and his friends the day after the concert. I texted Sasha about my special lad, Mark.
Ooh, my special lad.
Since we weren't dating yet, and told her we were going to hang out afterward with my friends. She responded by asking what concert Mark was coming to see. I told her it was Niall Horan concert. She replied, "Is he white?" I said, "Yes, Niall is white. Why?" She clarified, "I meant the guy you're talking to." I told her Mark was also white, and she texted, "I can tell by the music he listens to," with a laughing emoji. This rubbed me the wrong way because Sasha and I are both black, and I also listened to Niall Horan. He was my very first celebrity crush. I tried not to take it personally. I told her a little bit more about Mark, but she didn't seem to approve. We started a group chat on Instagram with my friends, Mark and his friends. Sasha was in the group chat, but hardly active. One day, I added something to the chat at 12:30 a.m., and she privately texted me, "Why are you awake? Go to sleep," with laughing emojis. I texted back, "You're awake too." She replied, "I'm at work though." I considered replying, "You're on your phone at work," but thought better of it. The day of the group date, Mark flaked.
Oh no.
He texted the group chat that something came up and he couldn't get off work. Less than 10 minutes later, Sasha sent me a private text. "Is today canceled?" Again, it felt off-putting. I asked if she was all right, remembering she worked night shift and our date was in the morning. I told her she could stay home if she needed rest. I let her know I was running a bit late, implying she could come late if she wanted. She then told me she wasn't coming. That was the second situation. There was a third situation that was the final straw for me, but there were other minor things in between that I kept noticing. Other little things that rubbed me the wrong way. Here are a few. She never responded to my questions or comments in group conversations, but she would respond to other people's questions or comments in front of me. And she'd give me an awkward smile when I would try to piggyback off her comment. Once I sat on Sasha's right during a church service. She chatted a lot with the young lady sitting to her left. All she said to me was hi. She texted me one morning saying she needed to ask something. Turns out the something was Jack's phone number. Sasha came to my senior recital, sat in the front row, seemingly excited to be there. She spent the entire reception talking to Jack. Okay, so your friend likes your brother.
Your friend wants your brother.
She arrived at my graduation party late, sat around on her phone the whole time, and made zero effort to join in any conversation. Then she left early. My 22nd birthday fell on the same night as one of our youth group events at church, and both Sasha and I were there. Everyone else there who knew it was my birthday came up to wish me one in person. I saw Sasha cross the room and waved. She smiled in my direction, turned to hug someone else goodbye, and then left. She texted me happy birthday 5 minutes later.
This is weird. The energy is just weird.
Energy's just off.
And you probably have just always felt that. And it's like, this
Yeah.
is a person you met through like happenstance because you guys both went to church. So it's
I
like,
feel like it's just not a compatible friendship, but that's fine. Happens sometimes.
yeah.
This third and final situation was the last straw for me. It was February 2025, and I had invited Sasha to a youth group event in a city that was an hour's drive from my place as well as hers. The event fell on a Friday, February 7th, and I was driving home from work that afternoon. I was stuck in traffic when Jack texted me that he was going to another city to spend some time with a friend. This was a bit of a problem for me because Jack was supposed to be my ride to this church event. Without him taking me, I'd have to make that long drive myself. After being stuck in traffic for an hour already, I was too exhausted to do any more driving that day. When I got home that Friday, I just went straight up to my bed and collapsed. But then I suddenly remembered I'd invited Sasha to the church event that I was no longer going to. So I sent her a text apologizing, telling her I couldn't make it anymore. I didn't give a full explanation. I only told her I'd been stuck in traffic all day. She texted back, "It's okay." And I figured that was her accepting my apology. But then Sasha and I planned to go to a music festival for Valentine's Day, exactly a week later. I picked her up from her place to take her to the festival, and she spent the whole ride, both to and from, complaining about how I ditched her the week before. She said things like, "You left me all alone at a church that isn't even mine. How could you?" I got defensive because first, she made the impression that she'd accepted my apology. And second, she had flaked on me last minute so many times in the 2 years we'd known each other, and I'd never given her any grief. I thought she'd be able to give me a little grace when I had to flake on her. Apparently, I thought wrong. I did feel really bad about flaking on Sasha, so I decided to make up for it by inviting her to a get-together at a church friend's house. This time, Jack actually drove me, and we got there early. 45 minutes into the whole thing, Sasha texted me that she couldn't find parking, even though there was plenty of space in the host's driveway, and that she was leaving. And by the way, you guys can never leave listening to full episodes of stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts, search up OK Storytime. There's just a little bit more.
It just sounds like you guys never really linked up like that.
Sounds like y'all just aren't really that close. And that maybe Sasha has a little crush on your brother.
The brother crush, I can't relate as an only child, but it would probably be a little annoying.
I'm sure it is.
Don't crush on my brother. He's not there. He doesn't, it's not real.
This was the last straw for me because she had just spent the majority of our last hangout chewing me out for flaking on her. And here she was again, flaking on me. Again, with no apology. I snapped a little and texted her back, "I guess we're even now," and added a smirk emoji to make it seem like a joke. But she immediately replied, "Technically, I drove all the way over here before canceling. You didn't even leave the house." I think she knew it wasn't really a joke. So yeah, that's where the friendship ended. We haven't really talked since then. I definitely haven't made any effort. I don't think she has either, and I'm fine with that. We've fallen out of each other's circles, and that's that. We still go to the same church, though. If she tries to hug me or anything, I might stiffen up. But anyway, that's my super long and crazy story of how and why I ended a friendship. Wow.
Wow.
Y'all were not compatible.
Yeah, that's I don't know if that story's as crazy as you think it is, but that was definitely a story of one person who probably always felt a little slighted by this other person, and that person just kind of not caring ever.
My girlfriend discovered that I've been lying to her with my friend.
What did you lie about?
I know it was wrong to lie to my girlfriend, and I probably should have just told her the truth. I lied because I didn't want to hurt her or upset her, but I realized it was still a lie. By the way, this comes from Zesty Glows Block 1332, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We just know what we would do in these situations. So let us know what you would do in the comments. So OP says, I've been playing fantasy football with some friends for years. We are all big sports fans, but football is the biggest. Last season, one of the guys dropped out of our fantasy league because he said it was taking up too much of his time and he was afraid it was pushing him into a gambling problem.
Yikes.
We needed another player, and my girlfriend watches football, so we asked her to play. I know I'm going to catch heat for saying this, but it wasn't as fun playing with her as I thought it would be.
Is she bad at it?
She's really bad, or she's really good.
Oh, that's the
why.
other option.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know if it was beginner's luck or what, but she pretty much destroyed the rest of us all season. It wasn't fun losing to her.
Get over it.
So
Literally get over it.
this season, we just decided to tell her that we weren't playing this year.
Literally, you guys are a bunch of cowards.
That
Little
is so
babies.
funny.
Can't end up losing to your girlfriend.
Gosh, well, I didn't want to at first, but the other guys insisted.
Cowards.
We invited the new brother-in-law of one of the other guys to play instead. I just told her that everyone was too busy to play this year, and she didn't question it. On Thursday night, we slipped up, and she found out that we are still playing. She had to go to work, but she was pissed off.
Rightly so.
She's been frosty since she got home Friday morning. Next weekend, we are supposed to go to an out-of-state wedding. Her family isn't from Chicago, but now she said she wants to go by herself. I tried to explain, but it just made her mad. It's nothing personal. No one hates her or anything. I know I'm going to catch heat in the comments. Every time I try to explain it, it makes it worse. I screwed up, and there's no way around it. But she's so upset, and I don't know what to do to make it better. I know I effed up, and there are some comments here, but I want to hear your comments first.
I mean, yeah. You absolutely effed up.
You totally effed
You
up.
guys were being little babies about losing to your girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then you, instead of saying to her, hey, like, you were too good.
Yeah.
We are all, we're not in your league, honestly.
Right.
And I would love to help you find a new league, but like genuinely you're too good and we're all bad.
Yeah.
That like boosts her ego.
I would totally take that. I mean, if she
Yeah.
had fun and if she if she had fun, but maybe it wasn't her thing and she was like fine with not doing it. I mean, clearly she was fine with not
Yeah.
doing it. She wasn't like insisting or trying to get you guys to start again or whatever. Like, she probably would have just taken that as like,
Yeah.
okay, you guys can play by yourselves, but I get ultimate bragging rights
Yeah,
for the
'cause
rest
I
of our
won.
lives.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because you're too scared to play fantasy football with me.
Yeah, literally, you could have made her feel so good, and
Yeah.
instead you lied about it.
Yeah. But also, too, like, if you're playing fantasy and there's money on the table and she's winning all that money,
Yeah.
then you could benefit. If you play your cards right, you could get a fancy dinner for the both of you guys
Agreed.
with her money.
Yeah.
Relevant comments, though. Automatic Serve says, you definitely messed up. This wouldn't even be about excluding her from something, but about how you were okay with lying to her. The key to relationships is communication. My only suggestion for your current situation would be to man up, take full responsibility, and apologize. Then sit down and have an honest conversation with her about why you did what you did and what you plan to do to make sure communication is honest going forward. If you're lucky and work for it, you'll be able to build up trust again. OP says, yeah, I know you're right. I make no excuses. I realize I screwed up. Every time I try to explain, I make it worse. I did apologize, but she doesn't want to hear it right now. I understand why she's mad, and I don't make any excuses for lying or hiding it. I should have stuck to my word when the other guys insisted. Own Cupcake says, don't try to deflect onto the other guys. They're not in this relationship. You are, for now. They didn't decide to lie. You did. Own up to it and take the consequences.
That's a great point. The other
Yeah.
guys just said we don't want to play with her next year.
Yeah.
You were the one who decided to lie.
Right. And even if they did like try to tell you to lie to her, that's still on you
Yeah.
for doing it.
They're not in the relationship.
Yeah. Ironjersh says, nah, you were happy to go along with the guys even though you knew it meant doing something hurtful to your girlfriend. Getting validation and approval from them was more important than your girlfriend's feelings. That's 100% on you. And we do have an update from 2 months later.
Oh boy.
And there were a little bit of spoilers.
I didn't see it.
I think we should just get into it.
Sure.
Update So it's over. I know I screwed up and the writing was on the wall. The worst part is that I have no excuses. I know how badly I effed this up. I'm not even looking for sympathy here. When my girlfriend got back from the wedding, she asked me why I lied to her. I didn't have any answer for her. All my explanations just made it worse and didn't really explain anything. I tried to apologize, but she didn't want to hear it. It was the worst week of my life. It was almost like she was freezing me out. At one point, she asked me if we ever talked about her in the group chat for our fantasy league, and I didn't even have to answer. She just said, "It's not nice, right?" And I think that was the turning point. I never want to see her cry, and the worst part is knowing I did this because I was stupid and didn't stand up to my friends.
Stop blaming your friend.
Well, he's saying he didn't stand up to his friends. So he's taking responsibility for
I
that.
don't know. But like he was also the one who said like it wasn't fun playing with her. So I feel like
That's
he
true.
didn't want her to be a part of it.
That's true.
I don't know.
I mean, he said earlier that like he like wasn't sure about it at first. So yeah, there's probably a part of him that did just
that's the thing. I think he's not
Yeah.
willing to confess to himself even.
yeah.
That's why I think he doesn't have an answer, because he keeps being like, "Oh, well, my friends convinced me and I shouldn't have agreed." But I think deep down,
Yeah.
at least my read of it, is that he was jealous
Yeah.
of how well she was doing and didn't like that feeling, and so
Yeah.
that's why he agreed.
I think it's very possible. And it is also very possible for you to listen to full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. There is a little bit more to this story. She said she doesn't think we are compatible and shouldn't date anymore. She didn't want to accept my apologies, and I understand, and I won't bother her now. She went to stay with her family for another week, and now I've heard that she came back because of her job, which is a pharmacist, and now she's staying with friends. But I will leave her alone. I'm looking for another place to live because our lease is up at the end of the month. She left 2 weeks ago, and it feels empty, and the worst part is I know it's my fault. I barely care about watching football now, and normally I would be excited about it because my team is in first place. If you take anything away from my post, don't put your friends over the person you love. Learn to stand up to your friends. I learned my lesson after this. And there are some final comments. Fan Feeling says, "So what were you guys saying about her in the group chat?" Another commenter says, just some unexamined misogyny disguised as humor, I'm sure. And that's the end of that story.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
at least you know that it was your fault, I guess.
Yeah, you literally lost your relationship because you're just a sore loser in football.
Literally, like at a thing that doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
And that's how you lost your girlfriend.
It literally would be so avoidable. I do wonder, though, if there were other problems in the relationship.
I imagine so.
Because-
they were living together.
Yeah, they were living together. And, like, I'm not going to excuse lying,
No.
but a lie like this,
Seems smaller.
it does seem smaller. But if there's, like, a history of lying or something, then, like, yeah, I think that would be
I think this lie was more that it was like a conspiracy of him and his. It's like everyone conspired to lie to
Against
her,
Yeah.
and then they also don't like her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because then they did kind of just brush over the fact that there's, like, they were talking about her
Yeah,
and,
he
like,
said-
saying not nice things.
Like he couldn't say anything
Yeah.
when she asked if they were talking about
She just said like not nice, right? And then that was it. Yeah, that's definitely a problem for sure.
Yeah.
I think OP was maybe a little worried to give all the details because he knew he messed up and felt
Yeah.
guilty.
Probably.
Sucks to suck, guy. I'm sorry.
Eh.
Sorry about that, but you learned your lesson.
Yeah.
So just
Don't do it again.
Yeah. But that's the end of that story. We've got another one coming right up.
It's actually,
I believe.
Also, oh, wait, no, there is. Yeah. But I
Okay.
won't be here.
So
I've got to go to the
switch
Where are you? Who are you
doctors.
going
I
to
don't
get?
know.
Who's
I
coming
think
in?
it's
Who's
I don't know, but I have to skedoodle.
Will you find whoever you have to grab? You have 10 minutes.
Yeah, Katie Paladin says, wait, was this all over fantasy football? Yeah, it was. Also, I don't think we got age.
All he had to say was literally like, "Oh no, babe, we don't want you in the league this year because you're literally too good."
Yeah, honestly.
We took a vote, and you were voted to not be in the league.
I agree. I think she just gets to make fun of you now. But then now you messed it up, and now she doesn't get to do anything with you. You don't get to do anything with her. R.I.P. my guy. But yeah, that's something that I would take. One of my biggest pet peeves is when people go easy on me in any sort of game ever. But this is something that I would be okay
You
with.
want to play Smash Bros?
Yeah, sure. You can just demolish me. I like Kirby.
Of course you do.
That's my
I would-
character.
was gonna say, what? You know, what character you play? Kirby. Hey, chat.
I don't, well, because it could,
You're not helping the stereotype. I'm sorry.
I'll fight you in real life. Smash Bros. IRL.
You saw me arm wrestle Riley in Colombia,
That's true, I did.
and I want you to go ahead. Do you not want me to go easy? We can
Okay,
arm
okay,
wrestle.
okay.
I can do my pinky.
Oh, arm wrestle, I'm not gonna win. But yeah, whatever. I don't use me as representation for all women playing Smash Bros.
No, it was
okay?
very funny because Carly was like, "I play Smash Bros." I was like, "Oh, do you?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm really good at it." I was like, "Let me guess, you play Kirby?" And she went, "How'd you know that?"
Just because Kirby's the easiest character.
Dang.
That's all. It's not because a girl thing. That's just what I've heard is that it's the easiest character. But also, I played Kirby well because the people that I would play with didn't really know what Kirby could do, and so I would always just like
Kirby sucks.
smash on people.
Yeah,
and
Kirby
people.
Kirby turns into a rock and then lands on people and then also sucks people.
It's true.
Angie, if I were your older brother and you're like, "Let's play games," because I feel like your older brother does this too.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Don't go easy on me," and then like just demolishes you, you'd be like,
And I'm fine with that.
"Okay," because I've done that before
Yeah.
with just people who say that in general, and they're like, "Don't go easy, man." I'm like, "All right, fine, I won't hold back," and I
Yeah.
still hold back a little bit, just like give them like a maybe like a life or like
Dude, that pissed
just
me
like
off.
get the, like I'll still win or maybe give them like one win.
Yeah.
But then if I just keep demolishing them, you can tell that like one, I get bored, but also because I'm like, okay,
Sure.
okay, challenge accepted.
Yeah.
What challenge? But two, like they start getting really frustrated.
And that's fair. But I think if I get frustrated like that, that's just what needs to happen.
Okay,
I would-
I'm
yeah.
like, okay, good.
I
'Cause I
would-
hate when people are like,
Yeah, like mad about it.
you're like, oh my god.
Because I don't know. I mean, maybe it's because like I'm the youngest, and so people would like naturally go easy on me, and then I'd win, but it'd be fake win, and that would piss me off more than anything. You're making me fake win.
Yeah.
I'm getting all this pride for nothing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Dakota's done that too for like.
Pissing me off.
I saved a neighbor from the fire, and this made my girlfriend upset.
Is your girlfriend an arsonist?
This weekend, I, 31 male, was staying over at my girlfriend's 34 female apartment. It is a single house split into 2 apartments. Around 8 a.m., I smelled bacon and went downstairs to see if she was cooking some. She had just bought a quarter pig from a local farmer. So I was really hoping this was some of the bacon. Sadly, it wasn't, and must have been the adjoining apartment next door. By the way, this comes from Good Samaritan BANE. NOP says, about 11 a.m., we heard an alarm going off next door and didn't think much of it. The neighbor, a man in his 20s, is always around at odd hours and staying up late. So my girlfriend and I just thought it was him sleeping through his alarm clock. Shortly after, I got up to do some laundry and smelled smoke. I realized the alarm was not an alarm clock, but the smoke detector going off for the last 5 to 10 minutes.
I would have just realized that from the sweet smell of burning asbestos.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I think I would have been like, oh, something's burning. Oh, the beeping. You know what? I probably would have connected it sooner than you guys.
I love the smell of burning fiberglass insulation.
I immediately ran around the house to the side door leading to the other apartment to see if I could get in. Through the window, I could see smoke and also someone in the other room passed out on the couch.
Maybe this is
I
just
wonder
how
if
they
it's like
sleep, guys.
No, it wouldn't be like
Maybe
a
this is
carbon
just how they
monoxide
sleep.
alarm because you smell smoke. So I tried banging on the door to wake the neighbor, but he didn't budge. I am a locksmith and had my picks on me.
Let's go. You always gotta have the picks on you.
Random superhero moment.
This guy is
Lockman.
This guy's a man of many hats.
But could not get it quickly. I ran to the front door and thankfully it was unlocked. I walked inside, ignored the neighbor on the couch, and followed the smoke. It turned out the bacon I had smelled at 8 a.m., along with a giant omelet, were both on the stove, burning 3 hours later. I turned off both burners, took care of the burnt food, and then went on to check on the neighbor. The neighbor was out, but otherwise okay. I let him be and went back to my girlfriend's apartment. The neighbor woke up 15 minutes later, and we could hear him moving around just fine. He never came over to say thank you. The messy part is that since I am a locksmith, I know what I did could be considered breaking and entering or trespassing. Are you, stupid?
Nah, dude, you got qualified immunity.
Yeah.
You're a lockpicker.
And you have picks on you. You're fine.
I am pretty sure this would be covered by Good Samaritan laws, but I wanted to avoid it becoming a problem. It would be very hard to keep my job as a locksmith if I had either of those charges on my record. Why are you... What?
Dude.
Who are you?
First
Low-key,
of all-
I think he's done other things that could have got
Yeah.
him arrested, so that's why he's so afraid of the law.
This is strange. Later that day, I left my girlfriends and filed a police report to cover my butt just in case. Last night, I was at the brewery with my girlfriend, and she had planned to drive us back to her place where my vehicle was. I told her about filing the police report, and she immediately got visibly upset and left the brewery without me shortly after. I ended up having to take a cab home and went back to my vehicle at her place this morning. My girlfriend is now telling me we need to have a talk tonight and is otherwise giving me a cold shoulder. I can only assume she's upset that I filed the police report and the neighbor or landlord might get upset. Who are you people?
This is like a real, like
Who are you people?
You're the snitch and the criminal.
My question is how I can talk to her to help her understand that what I did was to protect myself and my livelihood. Also, if anyone can help me understand why she's so upset about this, I would appreciate it. And most people are just saying, why would she think that you're wrong?
Because you might go to jail now. I think she's more be like, why did you file a police report proactively, right?
Yeah,
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
You're like, man, I think I might have done something wrong. Let me turn myself into the police and maybe lose my life. Is this your livelihood? Are you a lockpick by trade?
All of this would have been solved if you had just woken him up and said, hey, your house was on fire. I put it out. Are you okay?
She's waking up real gentle.
Hey, your house is on fire.
Wakey, hi, I don't want to bother you, but your house is on fire.
Yeah.
Your house is on fire.
Someone
Guys,
asks, is this usual or unusual behavior for her? Opie says, this is a good question. Normally, she's steady as a rock. Lately, though, she has been less so. 2 weekends ago, she stormed out in the middle of our weekly Friends game, cooking night. She came back later and apologized, but still, why did she... This guy doesn't ask questions.
No questions.
This guy doesn't ask anyone questions. He's just like, well, heck if I know.
He just takes action. He's a man of action. Unfortunately, they're usually the wrong actions.
Yeah. Update. Wow. So we just broke up? We talked to her about 15 minutes on the phone, and she accused me of not taking her feelings into account. For context, we started dating off and on last summer and finally became a couple at Thanksgiving. Here's the bombshell. We are scheduled to leave on an already paid-for vacation to the Caribbean for a week together in just over 2 weeks. We talked briefly on the phone and decided it would be best to give each other some time and not talk about it just yet. I would love some help and feedback. The relationship may not be repairable at this point, but I still think she's an amazing girl, and I want to see how much damage control I can do to prevent this from being worse for either of us than it needs to be. OP on the conversation with his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend. The conversation went like this. Her, you don't respect my feelings, and I'm done. At which point, I talked to her for the remaining 14 and a half minutes about why she would get that impression, and trying to explain that my actions weren't meant to be selfish.
Unnecessary.
There was a little back and forth during that time, but her argument felt to me like it had too many holes to be everything. Like many others said, I think she was just looking for a way out.
Cheating.
Morning after the update. After some social lubricant and talking to a lot of random people on here and at the brewery last night, I've come to a conclusion. Even if there was more going on, like many people have surmised, the relationship is over.
Smart.
There is no point in holding on to it and letting it get to me. Today is a new day. I'm going to make it a good one and not look back.
Wise.
Edit. I'm sitting with a close friend who told me since Thanksgiving he could tell things weren't the same.
Good.
This is the same person who said she made me a better person and was a big part of why I dated her. I feel like I was blind to what was really going on and didn't truly see this as either an excuse or the start that broke the camel's back kind of situation. An update 2, since we broke up, we haven't talked much, but agreed to discuss how to handle the Caribbean vacation tomorrow.
Oh.
That won't be happening.
Oh.
Tonight I get an email that she canceled my flight.
Oh.
I started digging and found out she's going on a vacation with her ex-fiance.
Oh.
You guys called it. There was more going on. I'm cutting all contact with her so I can have a clean break and move on to the next part of my life. By the way, anyone know a fun place to travel with my flight matcher from the canceled ticket? I'm in the U.S.
Hey.
That's the end of the story.
My friends held a secret intervention about me, and I wasn't allowed to prepare.
I mean, I think that's how interventions work.
I, 21 female, am a college student along with my friends Amber, 21 female, Bailey, 21 female, Cleo, 22 female, and Daisy, 23 female. Final season recently ended for us, and to celebrate, my friends and I went drinking together. I probably got the most wasted I've ever been, which is to say, I threw up once and had a mild hangover when I woke up. By the way, this comes from WideEgg8259, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Dakota, and I want to know why that egg is so wide.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, which is debate egg sizes.
Big old eggs.
So let us know what you would do in the comments. NOP says, my experience with booze is still limited. It was a great time, and I left for my dorm late and didn't wake up till the next morning. When I got up, I saw that I had been sent a text by Cleo that the group needed to talk to me. Pretty understandably, I started to freak out, but she wouldn't give me any information as to what happened or what I did. I replied to her and flat out refused to walk into a room with 4 upset people to be confronted about God knows what. This caused the group to send Cleo to my dorm to talk to me. After sobbing for an hour and a half, Cleo eventually coaxes me to talk to the rest of them. To their credit, it was a calm and civil conversation, but I could tell they were upset. They had all immediately jumped to the worst conclusions about everything. Conversation had 4 main topics, ranging from 2 months ago to yesterday when they happened. A store I loved had recently opened in our city, so I was ecstatic to go. In my excitement, I failed to recognize my friend wasn't doing too well and was having a panic attack, and I brought her in with me.
I'm sorry, but this is the most Gen Z nonsense ever. It's like, it's not your responsibility to be able to identify your friend having a panic attack. And then what? Like, what, you lassoed her and dragged her into a store?
I was so into it, I kept asking her to hold stuff and help me look at prices to know if I was getting a good deal, etc. I absolutely could have paid more attention, but I was checking in with her verbally by asking if she wanted to leave multiple times. She kept saying no, so I, wrongfully, assumed she was fine and was just quiet.
What the heck do you mean you wrongfully assumed she was fine? She was telling you to your face she didn't want to leave. That's not an assumption. Your friends are so, I know who they are, and they're so exhausting, and I want you to waste no more time apologizing for any of their nonsense.
Potentially mildly overstimulated from the crowd, but not so much to be an issue. One of these came from a person who literally wasn't even there. I had begrudgingly agreed to help the non-present friend out with a film project at 2 a.m. the night before it was due. I was trying to get out of it because I was busy, but he seemed desperate. He and I agreed he'd only need me for a few scenes and we could film later. We never agreed on an exact time, just sometime in the afternoon. The next morning, I woke up late from studying and scrambled to get back to work. In my urgency, I didn't realize my phone was on silent and I had my headphones in. They tried to call me, but since my phone is old and wonky, it's not reliable about giving me missed call notifications, and I was expecting a text. They apparently also sent another friend to go knock on my door, which I sincerely missed and don't even know how. I never received a text, and since we didn't set a time, I wasn't sure when to say anything. When I didn't get a message, I thought maybe he had found someone else. I also take blame here for not taking action when things started to look suspicious. I should have checked in, but I was completely distracted by my own work. Also, fortunately, he had found someone else. Everything ended okay here. 2 of them felt I was purposefully excluding them from hangouts and such. It's true I wasn't reaching out to them as much as the other 2, but it was because I was nervous about asking them to. I was afraid I'd be bothering them, or they didn't want me there, and they had so many inside jokes between them I felt like a third wheel. They had also shooed me away from them during an event not too long ago, so I mistook that as a sign for space. Lastly, they wanted me to be more communicative about when I was feeling anxious. Ironic, I know. And when that might interfere with plans, which I get. However, the problem I have with this being brought up is because the most recent example of this was 2 months ago, and we already talked about this then. We haven't had anything like it happen since. While I walked out of the conversation calmly and they all thought it went well, later that evening, I felt like that had been conducted really poorly. It seemed as if I was on trial for everyone to judge my sins, regardless of if they were involved with the problem or not. There was also the fact that so many had waited months to talk to me about it, when all of these were relatively minor miscommunications.
Yeah, it's because your friends are exhausting. That's what it is.
I could understand being more anxious just because of how they're behaving.
Yeah. Anyone who's like, I had a panic attack, but you didn't notice or care. It's like, well, that's funny because I asked you if you wanted to leave and if you were okay, and you said, no, we can stay, it's fine. Hello?
They talked to literally everyone else besides me about these problems. Lastly, I felt like none of them trusted me because they all had the worst ideas about me in their heads. They assumed I had the worst motives behind everything. That simply isn't true. After the events of that talk, I felt like everyone had been lying to me by omission and secretly holding grudges and gossiping about me. So I sent out a text asking for space for a couple weeks over winter break, telling them I still cared about them, but that they hurt me. I made it clear I wasn't ditching them or cutting them off. I had Cleo text me in a panic over this, and since I was angry and hurting, I told her I didn't want to talk. But I talked to my boyfriend and he convinced me I should give her another chance. She is about to transfer to a new school and she was always the nicest to me as well. I texted her the next day offering to talk before I left campus, but she left me on red. Since then, I've been booted from one of our group chats on a social media platform. All in all, I'm just very confused and lost about this whole situation. I know there certainly were times I could have acted better, and the reasons they were upset were good ones. I could also see maybe asking for space was a bit much, but I guess I just don't understand why they went about it like that and why they took me asking for space so badly. It had me questioning whether or not I want to be friends with these people to begin with. How do I handle this? Edit, I am ADHD for those wondering. I realize now it could have been a factor here. Comments. Comment 1. To me, it sounds like there's a long history of some sorts that is missing here. From all that I'm reading between the lines, it could be either you being a self-centered drama queen or them being a toxic friend circle, or something in between. Obviously, you're not good for each other, and as Cleo moves away, maybe it's a good time to reorient yourself. But whatever you do, try to reflect on yourself. There's always something to improve in yourself. And if it's just how to handle and detect those situations in the future.
Yeah, I mean, that's not bad advice. There is always the self-improvement journey never ends, right? That's the whole point. Don't strive for perfection, but just strive to be a little bit better than you were yesterday.
Comment 2. At first, I think your friends were going to do an intervention talk to you about a problem or regular use or something like that. Making a group meeting to discuss their grudges with you together seems really weird. I mean, the grudges seems to be a small problem and totally independent with each other. The kind of things they could and should have talked with you about privately. Commenter 3. You are obviously the odd man out of this group, especially at your age. Everyone has self-absorbed behaviors that they need to stamp out. Nothing unusual there. All of these issues should have been dealt with at the time they happened by the individuals who felt offended. They took no responsibility for their lack of communication in the friendship, but are happy to band together to browbeat you. I'd take space and evaluate if you want to preserve relationships with any of them individually after you've had time to think on it. The friend group dynamic is over, though. This is toxic mean girl stuff. Comment 4. This friend group sounds exhausting, petty, and dramatic. It's wild that they expect you to be a mind reader when communication is lacking on both ends. When you point blank ask someone if they want to leave and they say no, but you're the bad guy, I would take space as well. But you guys should never take space from us because you can always go and listen to more full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Story Time. There's just a little bit left, but yeah, they're exhausting.
Exhausting, petty, immature.
Good advice, though, to feel out if there's any of them individually that you think are fine outside of the group, and maybe eventually they'd also distance themselves. But I think that's, like, also kind of pushing it. Like, you don't even need to do that. Comment 5. Right. So to begin, I'd say start with thinking everyone's feelings are valid, regardless of the framework or any possible misunderstandings on either side of the discussion. Everyone has their own feelings to process, and those are valid. Yours seems to tell you to reevaluate the friendship, which I understand seems, from your point of view, a lot of confusing things happened at once, and you were blindsided by people you expected not to. Them talking it out with each other first also adds to the feeling of being excluded from the group, and being booted from a group chat for whatever reason obviously also does. And my middle-aged lady advice to you would be only handle your own feelings now. It seems to me you are understandably trying to also manage the other people's feelings, but they are adults and their feelings are theirs to handle. My suggestion is taking the space you need and evaluate if these friendships are net positive, neutral, or net negative for you and act accordingly. If you choose to end the friendship, you can either let the group know or just peace out, whichever is the most comfortable to you. It's okay to forgive them for handling the situation poorly and continue the friendship, and equally okay to feel this is too much and step away from the friendship. Don't worry, you are in no hurry to think it through. Take all the time you need, focus on yourself and your emotional well-being. That's the end of that story.
I think that was some good middle-aged lady advice. And as you yourself grow more and become closer to a middle-aged lady,
I was blamed for my best friend's breakup, and it cost me my job.
That's not good.
So I, 25 female, was in a new city with a new job. I quickly became besties with Maria, 23 female, but not so much with her boyfriend, the everyone likes him funny guy, Felix, 27 male. They set me up with Felix's best friend, Paul, 27 male, and we were dating for a couple weeks when everything went down. By the way, this comes from a deleted user, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. As OP says, so we were at work, and Felix told me about something new he and Maria were trying in bed. I didn't think it was weird because people here are kind of open, but a coworker and friend of both overheard Felix and told him to shut up because Maria might want it to be private. Felix got defensive, saying that he knows his girlfriend and isn't a bad boyfriend. Later that night, Maria and I were hanging out, and she was all giggly, talking about that same thing. I just went, yeah, Felix told me. That's really nice. She froze. Turns out she didn't want anyone to know. I felt bad for her, told her Felix didn't mean any harm, but I was honest that the coworker heard and knew. Maria said she'd talked to Felix, and I thought that was the end of it. But after the talk, she called to tell me Felix was mad at me. The next morning, Felix texted me that we will have to talk today. I cleared the conversation with Maria beforehand as she told me about other issues she was waiting to share with him when he was in a better mood. And I didn't want to talk to Felix about something she hadn't yet brought up. Also, Felix's ex once called the cops on him because he refused to leave her yard without a talk. He said she was crazy and hated him because he's a straight cis white male. But even if that's true, I preferred to be safe rather than sorry. He hated that I talked to Maria, saying it was between us. We met up afterwards, and he basically lectured me for poisoning her and bringing my insecurities into their relationship. He said he shared something vulnerable for us to get closer, and I broke his trust. I told him Maria can think for herself, and if she's mad, that's on him, not me. He responded that it's exactly what Maria told him, proving I fed her the lies. He then told me not to talk to her about what he does and about our conversation. I said it was controlling, and he got mad. He left saying he felt watched and couldn't reason with me, so he gave up. After that, he stopped touching Maria, saying he felt judged by me. They broke up soon after, and Felix blamed me openly for it.
Sure.
He started slamming stuff at work, ignoring me, which was hard because we have to communicate for work, and told everyone I poisoned Maria against him. I asked coworkers to be witnesses to file a complaint, but they said everyone knows he cannot handle his emotions and has anger issues. But I don't, so I should be the bigger person and apologize for breaking them up and getting involved in a relationship that I had nothing to do with? I didn't apologize because it's against my values to enable that kind of behavior, and because Paul and Maria agreed I did nothing wrong and shouldn't apologize. One day, I was talking to Maria about my bedroom, so whispering, and he assumed we were talking about him. We weren't, since we were banned from talking about it at work. He snapped and yelled 2 inches from my face, fist raised, and finally got reported. Until then, Paul had been trying to mediate, but after that, he confronted him. Felix said Paul chose my side, so Felix cut him off just like that, ending a 20-plus year friendship. He also warned new hires against me, but I couldn't do anything because new hires were scared Felix would treat them the same way he treated me. I kept reporting him for slamming things, ignoring me, sending unprofessional texts, and making work impossible. But everyone, including the bosses, grew tired. It had been 7 to 8 months since the incident, saying I ruined his life enough as it was. He told everyone I made Paul stop talking to him. They said I shouldn't have meddled in a relationship I wasn't in and should just leave him alone. Later, Felix quit his job because every time Maria and I talked happily, he assumed it was about him and he'd start slamming things again, so I'd report it, etc. To be clear, he was my supervisor, close friends with all the bosses, and the star salesman of the place. I could not have mistreated power or made his job hard, even if I wanted to. I'm really good at compartmentalizing my emotions and would act professional, even offering to help him if he needed, like I'd do with any other colleague. I do think me being okay and looking unaffected pissed him off, though. But I also know if I didn't act that way, I would have gotten in trouble at work. Now, everyone still thinks I ruined his life or was really into the drama. I even had supervisors disregarding harmful clients because everybody knows I'm dramatic and sensitive or looking for trouble, so they assumed I exaggerated. I always felt isolated at work because everyone kept saying how I ruined his life or updating me, teasing me that Paul would probably go back to him the second we broke up. So I also quit that job at the first opportunity I got. Thank God.
Yeah, honestly.
It's just crazy. Should I have just apologized or moved on? I don't feel like an a-hole, but an a-hole rarely does. And the fact that they kept in touch with him, but not me, makes me think I might want to reconsider. No, because they all sound like a-holes.
Yeah, like I think it's everyone here.
Right. It's
Except for you.
Yeah, except for you and Maria.
Yeah.
It's like the fact that you're worried that you're the a-hole. Come on, dude.
Yeah, like I feel like that
is very telling. I don't think that Felix is worried that he was rude when
absolutely
he was
not. Yeah.
I can't understand. If I'm not the a-hole and I did right, how come I lost a job, friends, and my boyfriend doesn't have his childhood friend anymore? How come everyone is so chill around him and resents me? Also, I don't think you lost your job because of it. You quit because they all suck.
Yeah, I think it really just showed you how sucky these people are.
Yeah.
And then,
you chose to leave.
Yeah,
which was good.
That was
sanity.
Of your better judgment, for sure.
Comments. Comment 1. This job sounds so sickly toxic. I definitely don't think you are the a-hole whatsoever. Sometimes when people do good things, they receive bad consequences. But that should never stop you from being a good person. This Felix guy is toxic as heck and sounds like a dangerous person. You don't want to work for people who protect their friends over everything else and don't even care about the safety of their workers. How foul and shameful on their end. I'm glad Maria and your boyfriend have at least a shred of common sense. Although all this will hurt for a while, in the end, you need to be happy that you don't have dangerous and toxic people in your life anymore. OP responds, the reason I still doubt is because the bosses are incredibly amazing to everyone. People stay there. Many people say they're the best bosses ever. Like that dude, everyone loved him. I feel like I'm missing something, but you might be right that doing good doesn't equal good outcome. Thanks for your input. Someone replies, see, but that is the issue. Bosses, which everyone loves, usually just means bosses who cover up horrendous BS. They allowed this type of behavior for so long and did not even try to switch his department or anything. To be honest, I would grab a copy of every single complaint you made and then send them to whatever workers board you have in your country or state to review. Well, after you have lined yourself up a new job, of course, because it is not going to end well. But hopefully the job will be better for people afterwards. OP responds, I've already quit. The furthest the bosses went was making sure we did not work together often, which resulted in my having less hours because of his seniority. I don't have any paper trails except for the text requests to meet with the bosses. During those meetings, they told me they'd contact Workers Norm to see what to do, and would issue a written warning to both parties for a paper trail. Never heard about it again, and they'd act really uninterested and bored when I'd mention or ask about it. By the way, you don't have to ask about it, because I'm going to tell you right now that you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts. Search up OK Storytime. You can get a lot of episodes right there.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We've got just a tiny bit left.
Yeah.
but-
I mean, I feel like is it hard to just ignore these people? Because if you quit your job and you're like away from it all already, I mean, like, I feel like that's all that you can do. I feel like that solves the problem, no?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I feel like it's been handled.
right, like, I think you got it.
Sounds
Great
like
job.
Felix is a little cuckoo.
Yep, for sure.
We have an edit. Since there were questions asked on the first post, I'll answer those now. I made sure to be vague about the place because in my city, it's a known business, but it's not an office or HR job. It's a small, locally owned business with a Discord group, and the bosses often invite employees for tabletop game nights or gaming sessions together. Also, the coworkers seem really harsh and rude, and it was hurtful. But to their defense, Felix told them what he's convinced happened, that I told Maria that he was a bad boyfriend and exposed her bedroom life on purpose, rather than how it actually happened. I learned this because people made comments like, yeah, but you shouldn't have accused him. And when I told my side, they say everyone's minds were already made up. Hearing the other perspective weeks later became a he said, she said story. They decided to stay neutral and out of it and told me to do the same. And that is the end of that story.
I was left out of a wedding party, so I backed out.
Did you want to be the bride?
I've had a group of 4 friends since elementary school. The 5 of us have stayed close friends through elementary, middle school, and high school, going to the same schools, and then through university. Separate universities, but we would visit often and stay very close. We are all 26-year-old guys and have been friends for 19 years now. By the way, this comes from Am I the A-hole busy computer, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit, and I'm Angie.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We're just guessing what we would do in the situation, but let us know what you would do in the comments. So, OP says, one of the guys in the group, Brandon, is getting married in January. Brandon asked the other 3 guys to be groomsmen in his wedding, alongside his 2 brothers and 2 of his friends from college. This left me the only homie in the group who wasn't a groomsman. I was upset when I first realized, but I talked to my parents about it, and they reminded me that it's Brandon's wedding, not a group event. He can have who he likes up there, and just because I'm not a groomsman doesn't mean that Brandon doesn't consider me a friend. And he already has 7 people up there besides him, which is a lot. My parents are the only ones I ever told that I was upset about it, and now I think I'm pretty well over it. They've had a few grooms party gatherings, like they went for drinks after they got fitted for suits and went golfing together, and Brandon and his fiance had a barbecue for their wedding party. That's always a weird reminder for me. My friends and I usually go on a trip in December to watch a football game. We started the tradition in our first year in university and have been going every year since. It's always just been the 5 of us friends, and we go for like 3 or 4 days. On Tuesday, my 3 friends came to me and wanted to know my opinion on inviting the other groomsmen on the trip as a surprise to Brandon. The 3 of them were all clearly for this idea and really wanted me to say yes. I told them that I wasn't sure, I had to think about it, which was awkward because it was obvious that they thought I was just going to say yes. I spoke to them about it today and said that honestly, I don't want to go on a trip being the only non-groomsman. I know Brandon's brothers and I've met his college friends and they're all cool, but I don't want to be the clear odd man out. I told my friends that they should do it. I just won't go this year, which was fine for me because I could do with saving some money because I have a separate destination wedding to go to in February now. The other guys won't invite the other groomsmen if it means that I won't come. But it's clear that they're also annoyed at them not being able to invite them because of me. One of my friends spoke to me separately, and he told me that he really thinks I'm not fair or a good friend, and asked if it's because I resent not being a groomsman. It feels like any decision I make besides agreeing to go on the trip with the 4 other groomsmen is going to make them mad at me. Am I the a-hole for backing out of the trip if I am going to be the only non-groomsman? And we do have some comments, but what are your thoughts?
Ooh, I'm interested too. I did see the verdict. I won't reveal yet, but I'm very torn on that one because a good part of me is kind of like, you do seem resentful and just a little booty hurt.
Yeah.
And
I think so.
I'm like, yeah, for sure. I can totally understand being like, wow, all of that really hurt.
Yeah.
I feel like we also could have maybe just had a conversation like, hey, I'm really hurt about this.
Exactly.
All this other stuff. But it's like, now they are including you in something because it's your guys' yearly tradition.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't miss out on a yearly tradition just because you were butthurt about the wedding stuff still.
Yeah, it's like you might feel left out about not being the only groomsman, but at the
Right.
same time, it's like, okay, well, at least now you're included. Like,
Right.
yeah.
I'm kind of like, okay, maybe they've come around. Like, I think 100% you should still tell them how much that hurt you kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a good reason for it. Maybe it was to keep the thing even. Maybe he really
Exactly.
wanted you as one.
Yeah. And it was just, unfortunately, you didn't make the
Yeah.
cut.
I
But-
think it stinks that they didn't invite you to some of the stuff still. Like, you
Yeah.
could still include a non-wedding party member.
Totally. My sisters did that.
Yeah. Maybe it would have been more awkward. Maybe it was a money thing.
Yeah.
Like, I just think that overall there needs to be a conversation and
Yeah.
like just get it out in the air, but don't miss your tradition.
Exactly.
For this.
It feels like opinions have been made but not talked about.
Right.
Like on all fronts.
Yeah.
And we do have some relevant comments, and the verdict from all of these will present not the a-hole. But Dear Word 8021 says, everyone sucks here. It's rubbish that you're the only one left out of the wedding party, but that's not going to change. Go on the trip with them. Make some new friends with the other groomsmen and just celebrate your friend is getting married. And enjoy the wedding without any responsibilities. Have you talked to the stag about how you feel about being left out? And is there any rationale? For example, did you move away or spend less time with them than the others? Opie says, I didn't talk to Brandon or my other friends about how I felt. I don't want to start any problems or drama in the group. So
You're doing that.
Yeah. So I would not talk to my other friends about it. At the end of the day, it's Brandon's decision to make. I also never talked to Brandon, figured it would be lame to ask why he didn't include me. And at the end of the day, he made his decision and I respect it. Also, there's a chance that I wouldn't want to hear his answer. I don't think anything would be gained by finding out that he thinks of me as a lesser friend, for example. So I don't know the rationale, and honestly, at this point, I try not to think about what reasons it could be, because I think it would be at the risk of inventing a problem in my head between us if I did that. I've known since June, so at this point, I wouldn't bring it up either way. Too late to ask, in my opinion. Yeah, real quick.
I agree that everyone kind of sucks in this story.
Yeah.
I was definitely leaning more to that than not the a-hole.
Yeah.
Because you could have had that conversation. Like,
Yeah.
at the point where you're not having the conversation, you're just stewing on it and you're gonna miss out on those other things. You are putting yourself in that position.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you still can have that conversation. Like, you're literally contradicting yourself.
Right.
And it's so weird to see because you're like, yeah, I don't know what the rationale is. I don't know why I'm doing this, but like it might have something to do with the fact that I'm really sad and I also don't want to ask a question because I don't know. I think the answer will make me more sad.
Right. He's like, I'm going to continue to overthink about what the answer could be.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to ask, so I'm just going to stay in my head about what the answer could be.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're being so avoidant because clearly, I mean, conversation does not come easy to you, which is okay. Like, I understand that. But it's not gonna get any better, and yeah, you just kind of refusing to go to the trip if it's gonna be a groomsman thing, and then also not talking about it. Like, your emotions are coming off either way. People know how you feel.
Right. They're
So
seeing it still.
just talk about it. It doesn't need to be like, yo, why didn't you make me a groomsman? Just be like, hey, like, just wanted to, I know we just never talked about it. I just want to get it out in the clear.
Right.
Like
it's been in my head a little bit. Like, can we just talk about it?
Was there a reason? Like, let me know.
Make sure I didn't do anything, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's and
it would be so simple.
Yeah, exactly. Right on Moa says, not the a-hole. Say the others should definitely attend. Say you'll still go. Then have a last minute issue crop up that means you have to cancel nearer the time.
Oh,
don't do that. I understand your feelings are hurt, and unfortunately, it's hard to imagine your friendship with these guys and the groom remaining the same now. It seems really strange to have such a big wedding party, but leave you out of it. I don't blame you if you do feel resentful. And OP says, dang, I would hate to lose my friends over this. And we do have an update.
If you don't talk to them,
Talk to them,
you're
my God.
gonna.
6 weeks later, I am going to go on the trip.
Yay!
Thank goodness. Oh my God. And I told them that they could invite the other guys. We leave tomorrow. 3 of the 4 other groomsmen are coming. One of Brandon's brothers can't make it. Truthfully, I don't really know if it's a happy update or not. They weren't going to invite the other guys after I said no, so it would have just been us, but I told them that they could. I guess I just didn't feel like being on the trip and them holding a grudge and things being awkward because I said no. And I would hold a grudge, and things would be really awkward if you didn't listen to full episodes of stories just like this one. Just go to Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. But yeah, there's a little bit more to the story, but thank goodness.
Yeah, I do fear it still hasn't been talked about.
Yeah, I really don't think it has.
So my advice would still be to do that, but
Yeah.
I'm glad you're going on the trip
Yeah.
and that things seem to maybe the trip will just go so well that you'll like get over it kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you feel even a twinge of that still, you
Yes.
have to talk about it.
yeah, because you said you got over it, but I don't think you have.
I don't think you
I
have.
think you've just pushed it away.
I think we're lying to ourselves.
Yeah. But there is a little bit more to the story. I was clearly going to go on the trip before they decided to invite the others, so I couldn't really honestly say that I wasn't going to save money. And maybe I said yes just to avoid anyone being mad at me. I don't know. I'm actually going to room with Brandon's brother that is coming. He is cool, so I don't really mind that. Hopefully the trip goes well. And there are some comments. I'm just going to jump right in.
Yeah.
Comment number 1 says, I really wonder what happened after the wedding. It feels like OP is on his way out as a group friend, and as they all start settling down, it'll be harder to maintain these dynamics anyway. Someone else responds, this was my thought. This very much feels like the other 4 are much closer than OP ever realized, and he's the afterthought. Dang. The fact that not one of them even felt the need to address the elephant in the room is quite telling. OP could have easily joined in several of the group activities while not being a groomsman. They clearly wanted him excluded. I imagine he would have been excluded from the trip if they could have managed it while still saving face. Dang, there's a lot of assumptions here. But that's the end of that story.
Well. I think my best friend is only using me, so I'm cutting her off.
And that's what you do.
My very best friend, 35 female, from the summer going into college around 15 plus years ago, was my friend till the end. We would go to concerts together, pick classes together, tell each other everything, travel abroad together, etc. She was in my wedding and did a lot for it too, including many DIY projects. We picked out really thoughtful presents for each other since we know each other like the back of our hands. By the way, this comes from Happy Dependent 347, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, my last job was part-time since I'm having health issues and can't work full-time anymore. She was working this job with me, and even though it was grueling work, it was better because she was there with me. We would sometimes go out to eat after our shifts. We both quit together when it got too much and the pay wasn't great to begin with. During this time, my spouse got a new job with a big pay increase. They told me I didn't need to force myself to work a job while going through my health issues, and that we were okay financially. This was about almost 3 years ago for reference. This is when my friend changed. She offered to help me clean my house while I was on bed rest from surgery. We paid her, and when we got food delivered for dinner, we would order something for her too. It was fine at first until she snapped and said I needed to be helping and that I could fold clothes in bed. I got really upset with her. I was on literal bed rest and we were paying her to help with these tasks. We decided not to continue that since I realized I was mixing business and pleasure. I went out to dinner with her when I was feeling better and she asked what I was doing for my birthday. I told her about the restaurant that took months to get into and my spouse surprised me with it since I was depressed about my health. She opened her phone and made a reservation at a bar with the restaurant a couple of days later. She said, well, I got in. I'll let you know how it is. She ended up going with different friends and posted all about it. When she was telling me about it, she said she treated herself and ordered a lot of things. I felt kind of awkward because the last couple times we went out, she said she couldn't pay. I covered for her. She didn't even offer to pay me back, but that was kind of our friendship. I'd get this coffee, she'd get the next one kind of thing. So I got upset that she magically had money for other outings she had. I gave her the benefit of the doubt. I wasn't there, so I didn't know what happened. But I was hurt. It felt like she was rubbing it in my face that she got to go first. Maybe she was jealous I was going, but she did ask, so I tried to let it go. A couple months later, we were at Christmas tea that I booked and confirmed with her. We were going to do the gift exchange too. She texts me and tells me she's running late. She shows up nearly an hour late, leaving me hanging because I can't start the tea without her. When it comes to payment, she said she left her wallet at home. She smiled and said, "I think it should be your gift to me for Christmas," even though I bought her a present. I put my foot down and said no. She tells the waitress when I'm in the bathroom that I'm paying. I said no. She puts her hands up and says, "Well, I don't even have my wallet," like it was planned.
Yeah, I mean,
It probably was.
it's the modern age. There are different ways to get someone money
Yeah.
than just having your wallet on you right now.
Yeah, Venmo me. Do anything else. I was really upset and just paid. I told her I needed to be alone and drove to a coffee place 20-ish minutes away. She followed me. I ordered a drink and said she could stay, but she needed to pay her way. She said she went home to get her wallet since the coffee shop was near her house. I had a gift card I'd been wanting to use, so I got a snack as well. I shared the snack since it was bigger than I thought. I went to the bathroom and came back. I noticed my phone wasn't on the table and asked if she saw it. It was in my purse because she put it there. I thought nothing of it until I tried to pay with my gift card. She said she paid the bill with it for her items too.
Honestly, I'm never talking to you again. I'm just sending you a bill.
Yeah.
I'm tallying up all of the times where you stole from me. And
She
I'm
literally
sending you the
stole.
bill.
She literally stole.
She literally just stole from you because she has no respect for you.
I felt like I was being used. I told her she needed to handle the tip. She wouldn't. I threw her gift at her and said, "I'm going home," which was at a 40-minute drive. She said, "Wait, your gift is in the car." She gave me my gift, which she had taken half of to try. My gift was really thought out, like usual. I tried not to be upset. She could have said no gift or smaller gifts if she couldn't afford one. She then said she spent over $200 at the restaurant with the other friends. I told her I was upset about the day and left. Note, during this time, before the day of the tea, I also learned that she still texts my mom about me, even though I went no contact with my mom and blocked her on all social media. I'm not sure what she texts her, but it makes me uncomfortable. She also tried to talk me into reconciling with my mom. My mom's business was our first job together, so it wasn't completely strange that she had her number. I used to send her voice memos when I was too tired to text, which included deep stuff like what I talked about in therapy and doctor's appointments. I learned she was playing them to her mom, who's a nurse, and they would sit there and try to diagnose or help me. I'm sure it was probably with the best intentions, but it irked me that my private stuff was being shared without my permission. I learned this because she told me. So I stopped talking to her and hanging out after this incident. She reached out once and said, "If there's anything I did to make you upset, that wasn't my intention."
Bro, you didn't even say sorry. You just said it's not my fault. That's insane. You suck.
I left her on red because I had told her very clearly in person. We haven't talked or seen each other in almost 3 years. I still miss her. Things remind me of her, but she has other friends. I wonder if maybe I wasn't her best friend or if I was too much for her. This year, she posted on Facebook that she got my dream job, which she knows about, and didn't even give me a heads up. I even wrote a reference letter for her years ago that she used to get it. I will say, though, I don't think you get a heads up if you go no contact with somebody.
Yeah, if you haven't talked in 3 years, why would you get a heads up?
That's the most normal thing she's done, is like not gone to brag to you about it.
Right. I would be more upset if you reached out to me after that,
Right.
being
Just
like,
to
by
tell
the
me-
way, I got your dream job.
Yeah.
Thought I'd let you know personally.
That would be more messed up.
Yeah.
I was crushed. I didn't even want to say congratulations, but I did. By the way, I want to say that you can listen to more episodes with full stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts. Search up OK Storytime. There's a little bit left.
You know, sometimes we realize that there's people in our lives that even though they were, one of our close friends, maybe they're not meant for us anymore,
Yeah. And I think we need to just keep that door closed now. Stop texting her.
Yeah, and she clearly literally just used you for money all
Yeah.
the time. That's crazy.
And to get your dream job.
There's always the notion that you pay someone back if they cover for you for something, especially if you're going out gloating about spending $200.
Right.
It's like she had some like weird like disrespect dynamic with you.
Yeah. And then they're like, oh, I forgot my wallet, but I stopped home to get it, but I still made you pay? What?
And it's like, oh, I forgot my wallet, but I swear I'll pay you back literally today. We'll go back to my place and I'll pay you back.
Right. Why didn't
None
we do
of that. Just, oops, I forgot my wallet, so I guess you'll
pay,
just get this.
and I'm just not going to pay you back.
Of course not. I forgot my wallet. How could I do it?
My grandpa passed away a couple months ago. She texted me. I got excited that I could have her back in my life. It turned out that my mom wasn't going to the funeral, and she asked my mom what kind of things they did. After I told her, she just abruptly stopped texting me again. That was in July. It's in a weird spot, and I feel like I let go of a good friend. No, she
No.
wasn't good. She sucked.
She was literally just a manipulator, it sounds like. She's talking to your mom about you after you went no contact with her. She's got a very weird power dynamic with you. It's like she hangs out with you and talks to you because it makes her feel bigger.
It's
and
icky.
that's weird.
But maybe she wasn't a good friend. Am I the a-hole for letting go of this friendship, or was she the a-hole during it? Thanks for reading.
The second one.
Yeah.
The second one.
We have some comments. Commenter 1 says, nope, she was taking advantage of you, I feel. That's a red flag. It got weird and disrespectful. I don't know if she was mad because you didn't have to work, but it's just so odd that she went to that restaurant before you. I don't think that makes sense. Unfortunately, sometimes the friends we had 10 plus years ago were fun then, but then life moves on and you mature. In this case, you matured while she was stuck in this fairy tale that you both be yin and yang, side by side buddies. When you got ill, she should have respected your wishes to take it easy. For her to work on cleaning your home for you, then think it's okay for you to help out even though you're on bed rest, doesn't make any sense to me. Why was she demanding you help if you hired her? But like you said, mixing business and pleasure gets complicated, so that might be it. But truly, a good friend wouldn't request that. I think it's healthy you guys drifted. She was just too much effort to stay close to. Opie says, interesting. I didn't see the viewpoint of being mad I don't need to work anymore. I think she went to the restaurant before me to one-up me. I do agree that she's stuck and not maturing, which could be another reason why she was mean. It's also wild she went off on me about being ill when she had a chronic illness too, but I guess more predictable. And the whole point of her helping, without my help, is why we were paying her. She called me lazy, so maybe that's how she felt. That's the end of that story.
If you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow.